the veil so thin. Alien lies crash and burn again. Psychic fakes tremble under gaze. New age con men lost in the haze. Those signs and eyes become your blind. Sell your dreams, leave your hope behind. False prophets preaching empty noise. True silences their deceitful voice. Truth seekers exposing the truth. Truth seekers coming for you. Truth seekers uncover the lies. Truth seekers open your eyes. Dark shadows they slither, they crawl, promising secrets, then you fall. Stephen's torch lights up the dark. Expose the fakes, watch them depart. Sky watchers caught in webs they spin. Spaceships faked by tricksters within. Each fraudster's empire builds on sand. Stephen's truth will make it disband. Truth seekers exposing the truth. Truth seekers coming for you. Truth seekers uncover the lies. Truth seekers open your eyes. Truth seekers exposing the truth. Truth seekers coming for you. Truth seekers coming for you. Open your eyes. Truth seekers exposing the truth. Truth seekers never tire. Under pressure lies break apart. The truth burns bright, it's just the start. Truth seekers uncover the lies. Truth seekers open your eyes.
I apologize. Thank you, guys. So, greetings and salutations and welcome, friends. New software. Our new software requires us to mute ourselves during the bumpers, and occasionally I forget to turn it back on. But thank you very much to the person who just let me know via my cell phone. So I've assembled an incredible panel tonight. Sometimes we do these panel shows and they are a mess and very chaotic when they're open. But today I just sent some invitations to people I know have been closely monitoring this situation. So the recent drone sightings in New Jersey, which is where I've been focused, have garnered significant public and media attention, fueling concerns about privacy, safety, and potential misuse of unmanned aerial vehicles. However, a closer examination of these incidents reveals that many of these sightings can be attributed not to drones, but to misidentified commercial aircraft. In fact, I have found so many examples of people misidentifying commercial aircraft that I have stopped collecting examples of them. I think I stopped at over 20 such examples. Tonight, we'll be trying to critically evaluate the evidence behind some of these claims. The proliferation of drones, both in recreational and commercial spaces, has increased public awareness, but also anxiety about unmanned aerial vehicle or drone activity. In New Jersey, multiple reports of drone sightings have led to investigations, by both local officials and federal agencies. And despite the technological capabilities of drones, the majority of these sightings lack corroborating evidence of actual UAV presence. Instead, most of the emerging data, and I've been looking at most of it, suggests that misidentification of commercial aircraft, particularly during night hours or under poor visibility conditions, accounts for a substantial portion of these reports. Human perception, after all, is notoriously unreliable under certain conditions. At night, the combination of blinking lights, unusual flight paths, and the inability to gauge size or altitude contributes to frequent misidentifications of aircraft as drones. Commercial aircraft with their navigation lights and approach patterns then appear similar to large drones when observed from the ground at a good distance. There are many things that contribute to these misidentifications, including distance perception. Objects in the night sky can appear closer or smaller than they are, leading observers to conclude that they are drones. There's also lighting confusion. The red green navigation lights on airplanes can mimic those found on drones, particularly when the aircraft is flying low during landing or takeoff. And then there's the issue of flight patterns. Aircraft approaching or departing airports often follow non-linear paths, which can appear erratic to ground observers. And then, of course, there is the media's role. I have been consistently disappointed by the media's role in this whole entire story, because the media's role in amplifying these drone sightings and over sensationalizing them cannot be understated. Sensational headlines often precede uh, less than thorough investigations, leading to widespread public concern. In many cases, news outlets fail to update the stories once misidentifications are confirmed, leaving the public with an exaggerated perception of this drone activity. And I have found numerous examples of media companies, large media companies, not knowing to check flight radar and completely and totally misidentifying commercial air traffic as drone sightings. Social media platforms further compound the issue. Videos and photos of alleged drones frequently lack context or verification. For example, low resolution footage of blinking lights in the sky is often circulated without accompanying details about nearby airports or flight schedules. And of course, the tendency to misidentify commercial aircraft as drones has significant implications, including resource allocation. Misreported drone sightings divert law enforcement and aviation authorities, both local and federal, from legitimate security concerns. Then, of course, the public's misunderstanding of this drone technology fosters unnecessary fear, which can lead to restrictive policies that hinder actual legitimate drone use. And there's an impact on aviation as well. These false reports of drones near airports can disrupt flight operations as authorities prioritize safety over skepticism. And we have seen some concerns like that in these instances. So the majority of the alleged drone sightings in New Jersey, let's get that out of the way, appear to stem from misidentified commercial aircraft. As I mentioned earlier, I have found numerous examples of this, and we'll be showing you some of that. Understanding the psychological, observational, and environmental factors that contribute to those errors is crucial for developing effective responses. And I believe we really have to work on focusing on educating the public, and something needs to be done with the media insofar as they're less than accurate reporting. And I get it. We live in an attention-based economy. People are, and by the way, the grift squad members, and you know who they are, the usual UFO clowns, are like having a feeding frenzy. And back to the misidentifications, I've also identified at least 10 examples of people misidentifying Orion, the constellation Orion, as drones off in the distance. I can show you some examples of that this evening. Also, there are a conflation of all of these different stories. People are claiming there's orb sightings, when in fact, most of those sightings turn out to be misidentified planets like Saturn or Venus. Filmed through a telephoto lens of even the best iPhone, they appear to be energy balls. And we'll show you an example of that because Russell Brand is now claiming that these are some sort of plasma energy. No, they're not. Um, I do believe that by focusing on education, accurate reporting, and technological verification, we can reduce false reports and foster a more informed public discourse about this drone technology and recent drone sightings. Most importantly, uh, people should be educated that there are some things that you can do. For example, you can use flight radar24.com and check if this is an airplane or a helicopter or even a balloon or a blimp. And nobody does that. Additionally, there's something called stellarium. I have a cabinet in the mountains, and the most recent example I could think of is that for whatever reason, the way the constellations go and the planets move, there has been a huge ball of light above my cabin. And I have binoculars, I have a telescope, and I'm looking at this and going, this is not an aircraft. And I checked flight radar. Then I thought, well, maybe it's a satellite, and I checked satellite tracking. This is another thing you can do. You really must check satellite tracking software. And again, it was not a satellite. So it wasn't commercial aircraft. It wasn't a satellite. What does that leave? Planetary bodies. So I use a program called Stellarium. It's free. Anybody can check on Stellarium, put their GPS coordinates in, and see what is above them in the night sky. And Stellarium will actually identify specific stars, planets, comets, anything astronomically that could be causing that sighting. In the most recent case at the cabin, it was the planet Jupiter. And I got so excited, I was convinced that it was something extraordinary. It was the planet Jupiter. And on subsequent nights, my neighbor at the cabin and I both observed the same thing. And we had a big laugh that we thought we saw an alien spaceship or a mothership. It was so bright in the sky. It was brighter than a star, brighter than a satellite, brighter than blinking lights of a commercial aircraft off in the distance. And I guess because of the atmospheric conditions, there was a lensing sort of effect. So not only did it look like a big ball of light, it looked like beams may be coming out of it. But this is atmospheric conditions that cause these things. So we're going to be getting into all of this tonight. We've got a few panel members standing by. I don't want to leave them waiting too long. I did have plans for to show you some other things, but I think it's best if we just get into the panel discussion. I'm going to bring our first guest in here who I know has been following some of this very closely. One second here. There we go. We've got Mr. Luis Caetano. Welcome.
Hi.
I'm
Can you
sorry.
hear me?
Yes, I forgot to warn you. This new software, everybody has to mute themselves when we play bumpers, which is just
Mhm.
oh, you know what? I can fix that. There's a switch for that. I'm still learning this software. So I have been kind of blown away, Mr. Caetano, by the media circus that is this thing. And, it's on my Twitter. You can follow me at Stephen Cambion, anybody listening. I posted numerous examples of these were aircraft that people are reporting. And there seems to be a rush to sell a story here, right?
Yeah, even when the planes can be heard in the videos.
There was helicopter. You can hear the chopper blade in one of these videos. Oh no, and I don't know. I think most people can audibly hear the difference between drone motors, which tend to be higher pitched and lower in volume, and chopper blades, but people are still right.
Hmm.
So one
Yeah,
of them was a helicopter.
yeah. One was definitely a helicopter, but there's been a bunch of, as you said, passenger jets, and they've even got the FAA lights, very clearly on their fuselage and the wings. You would think that people had never seen a plane at night, but I think that this is explained by like as a sort of social contagion, and the media's role is sort of well, its effect has been to stoke this story, and then more people are motivated to look up. But because they're so terrible as well at identifying things, then they add to the story.
And I don't, Mr. Caetano, I don't blame some of these people because I didn't know about these things like flight radar or satellite trackers or stellarium. I had to learn that, like nobody's educating the public, like, hey, before you think this is a drone or whatever, you have to eliminate the prosaic explanations, right? And then there also seems to be, don't you think there's a conflation of all these different events and everybody is just connecting the dots? For example, there was a private plane crashed. Somebody turned that into a story about a drone crash,
Hmm.
and it was clearly an airplane. And I confirmed with local authorities that was an airplane that crashed. But that
Yep.
got added to the drone story, and then we have the story of the Coast Guard being buzzed by some drones off the coast of New Jersey. We've got Langley and a few other locations in the United States where there's drone sightings. And then, interestingly, I'm only an hour or two away from where all these drone sightings in New Jersey took place. So all over social media, there started to be drone sightings right where I am in Philadelphia and the suburbs. But I
Mm.
go and I look at all of these, and most of them turned out to be the constellation Orion, which is another misidentification. And right in the photo, I can identify Orion. You see the three belt, and I'm looking at this. I'll share them on my screen so people can understand. Like this is a weird conflation of so many different stories that I think are completely and totally disconnected, but they're all getting turned into, I guess, a conspiracy theory, right?
Yeah. In fact, there was a there was a former congressman or senator, I believe, who shared the Orion constellation stars as a drone or swarm of drones as well. And President-elect Trump has also sort of gotten in on the discussion by saying that they should be shot down if they're not identified.
Oh
Although
no.
I think he meant more the military, not private citizens. But that's how a lot of people have taken it. Is like if you have an AR-15, you should try to shoot one of them down. And there was a guy in Florida who actually shot down I think recently he shot down a drone, and the judge ordered him to pay $5,000 restitution to the owner. So this sort of stuff kind of plays into a threat narrative as well, and that makes people more interested and more kind of paranoid because that itself dovetails into the sort of anti-government sentiment and distrust that's been going on, for a long time in America now, and the heightened, political division in this country. I think that also probably plays a role.
Yeah, and I'm looking for this. The ones with the Ryan was really shocking to me. Is it too much to ask, Lewis, that people know the difference between a constellation and a drone? Because apparently it is.
Yeah, and the scary sort of thought experiment you could do is if you were to give everybody a shoulder launched missile system, how many passenger airplanes would be shot down, and how many civilian casualties would there be by now?
Yeah, I think there would be an awful lot. And I'm just gonna share my screen and get your reaction to this because I thought this was pretty funny. Along with misidentified, along with the misidentified constellations and everything, we've got people literally sharing planets right now. They're sharing planets, and then they're basically saying this is something extraordinary, which I just don't get it. I don't understand how something as ordinary as a planet. This is Russell Brand, and regardless of what you think of that person, let's just put all that aside. He has a huge multi-million subscriber platform.
Yeah.
And he says, my jaw is on the floor. We're looking at shimmering orb in the sky, and absolutely nobody seems to have a clue as to what it is. He got community noted. This is Venus, but out of focus. Do you
Yeah.
find this helpful? This is the level of social contagion. I'm sorry. This is the level of social contagion that you're talking about. This has become like a big deal. Somehow, somebody taking a photo or a video with their iPhone all out of focus of a planet is being added to this other drone hysteria, right?
Yes. And this sort of thing's been going on. Alan Hendry talked about this in his 1979 UFO handbook, that people sometimes misidentify things in the sky, like with their camera, because of the lens effects.
Yeah.
This is nothing new, but I mean, just you would think that by now people might be a little bit more, science savvy, or they might understand some of the limitations of technology, but apparently not.
Yeah, and I'm gonna share this other tab, and people love to argue with me because I said on a Twitter thread or a post, you know, uh, most of these drone sightings are misidentified airplanes, and of course somebody's got to be snarky and say these are planes too, and it's kind of hard to see here in the graphic, but that's Orion's belt, and that is the constellation Orion. So no, those weren't planes. That's the constellation Orion that you're filming, and I can verify that through GPS location and Stellarium, because Stellarium is excellent. I don't know if you know this, but it'll let you go to past times and dates or future times and dates and see exactly what is above you in the night sky. It's a wonderful program. It's free. It's open source. I'm a contributor. I mean, a financial contributor. I've contributed over the years because I'm a bit of astronomy nerd, and I love, the fact that that program is there. Because especially at the cabin, we're at a high elevation and such, and I want to know what am I looking at, and it
Yep.
tells you. It tells you. So that's an awesome thing. And then of course there's satellite tracking, because for a while at the cabin when the Starlink satellites were new, I was seeing some of those and getting excited because you see a whole train of lights in the sky and they're moving together, and I was like, what the hell is that? It's a train of Starlink satellites.
In fact, Starlink was the cause of one of my own UFO sightings not too long ago. And then I was with somebody at night. We were having dinner, and then we just looked up and we saw like a line of dots, and yeah, it was almost certainly Starlink.
Yeah, and I don't know though. Along with the prosaic explanation that people are just not very good at identifying the difference between a drone and an airplane in the distance. Satellites. We've got people looking at stars thinking there's something special. We've got people looking at planets thinking it's something special. Here's what bothers me though, Mr. Caetano. There are some people that are filming things that are not airplanes, things that are not stars, things that are not. And I've got UFO Sarah is here and has something to share. Maybe we'll bring her in next because Sarah knows to check. There was a first question. She tells me that she's got some footage right in New Jersey. And my first question is, did you check flight radar? She sent me the screenshot. It was not a commercial aircraft. Let's bring Sarah in here with another perspective. Welcome, UFO Sarah. Oh,
Yeah, hey,
oh,
thank
there you
you.
go.
Hello, how are you guys? Thank you for
Good.
having me.
So tell us about the footage and how you were able to sort of eliminate, because I think that might help educate people. Like we were talking about, people don't eliminate prosaic or earthly explanations before jumping to aliens. I know you don't do that, but tell us about the sighting, filming it, and then how you were able to say it's not an airplane, it's not this or that.
Yeah, sure. Mainly it's just I'm visiting this area in South Jersey during the holidays with my family, and so I'm not actually normally here. I'm usually on the West Coast, and I come from the UFO community. So, of course, before Thanksgiving, we started hearing about this, and I was just upset that it was in North Jersey. I didn't know anyone up there. My family's in South Jersey, so no one could get back to me. But then I got here, and I actually was here, and so um, the first sighting was Monday night of last week. I was at my sister's house, which is not a video that I sent you, but it's just this is my first sighting. It was Monday night. I was at my sister's house. I went outside to have a cigarette, and I looked up in the sky and I saw what looked like red and white flashing lights going by very slowly. And then I thought, I'm gonna just film this. But before I did, I pulled up Flight Tracker and I looked to see if there were any flights. And of course, Philadelphia Airport's right here, so there are flights going in. But at the time, I believe it was a plane that was going into Philly, but not in the direction that this exact drone was going. So I knew right away that this was not an actual plane or a helicopter or anything that would show up on flight radar. So I filmed it, and of course I'm thinking, this is so dumb. I'm so dumb. Why am I doing this? I stopped filming, and not even like a minute later, another one comes. So I do that. My sister texts me from inside the house a screenshot of one of her neighbors on her Ring camera saying he has 3 to 4 drones above his house. So I asked her which direction, and she pointed in the direction that these guys were going to. And so I was, I pulled her outside with me. She stood next to me, and we watched the third drone.
And we have the footage.
Oh, that footage is actually from. So then I saw more on Thursday night, and then Friday night you have the footage of that one. So this one, I'm standing on the back porch with my brother's girlfriend, and she had seen them with her neighbors. So when she got to my brother's house, she took me outside, and I was sort of really pissed because I just wanted to have a drink and smoke a cigarette and not go through
Yeah.
all of like the app flipping,
Yeah, so Mr. Caetano, along with all these misidentifications, there are a few people that are showing me and sending me things that I think may be consumer level drones. Maybe Sarah has a neighbor. Did you ask around in the neighbors? Is anybody flying a drone, or did you happen to?
No, I didn't. I didn't ask anybody if they were flying a drone. This was, as you can see, it was so high up, and it actually looks like all the other drones. So I sent you 2 videos. I sent you the drone video from Friday night, and then tonight, right after
Yeah,
you and I had talked, I went outside and I got that footage, and they just look the same to me. They're like red and white lights, and yeah.
it's very common for consumer level drones to have blinking red and white lights for whatever reason. And interestingly, if you Google how many drones are there in the United States, there's something like 700,000 registered drones. For those unaware, if a drone is more than 0.55 pounds or a little over half a pound, you can't fly it without, some sort of licensing and registration with the FAA. But some of these are, consumer level drones, I think. Sarah, you and several other people, but a few of the people have not wanted me to share this, so it's interesting that we can share.
Yeah, but we saw that Orby thing too.
I know.
And along with this footage, Sarah did do the checking, and
We
it's
didn't get it.
not a commercial airliner
Oh,
or
Cooper wants
or
to go in.
private plane.
That has a chemtrail.
Chemtrail too.
They have been seeing that too.
There was a lot of that at.
That's interesting. Look at that.
Appears to be pretty high for a consumer level drone, though. But again, perceptions. For all we know, that's 1,000 feet off the ground, right?
That's not right.
No,
Sorry, it's going straight
there
up.
isn't. I just checked
It's
flight
going
tracker.
straight up.
I know. I can't even.
I'm gonna let this play again, silenced. So
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I'm not gonna, and I'll be I mean, honestly, I don't mind sharing this experience because, if you can tell me what it is, that's great. If you, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just am saying it's not on flight tracker. This is what I captured. And this is what we're seeing. And to be honest with you, this was just one. After this and before this, there were 2 others, and they
yeah,
come
and
and
for
they
those
fly in the same flight path. That's what I mean.
for
And
those
they're silent.
for those unaware too, I just want to make sure that we put on the record that along with a lot of people aren't aware of this, but everybody, if you point your phone at something and take a picture or take video, the metadata will show you some of the identifying characteristics, like where the photo was taken, what direction the phone was pointed in. And Sarah checked flight radar, and there's nothing above this area as far as commercial or private planes or regular aircraft are concerned. And I've kind of done just a quick look at this on flight radar and confirmed that Sarah's correct. And so I was kind of like surprised. Like we got one that's not an airplane, at least as far as the flight radar. It could be an unauthorized airplane, but I doubt that, right? Like, that's pretty much a felony, flying an airplane without a transponder or filing a flight path. So interesting that along with all these misidentifications, we actually do have a genuine mystery of but is it really a mystery, or could it just be as simple as somebody's flying a consumer drone, right near your home, right? What do you think? What do you think, Sarah?
I would say then if it's a consumer drone that's being flown near my sister's home, then and my brother's house, it looks the same, and it must be like a Kmart drone that everyone goes and buys. And being honest, like I'm not even being facetious or anything, because they all
I
look the
think
same.
somebody went to Walmart that day or something,
Because
right?
they all look the same. You know what I mean? Like they're not
High in the
different.
sky, they do look very similar. It just looks like a light or a blinking light in the sky, and that's if you have the. I have several drones of various price points, and the more expensive drones let you turn the lights on or off. So if you're doing a night flight, generally, I can only speak for myself, being a hobbyist, and I'm terrible at drone flights. I've crashed a bunch of them and destroyed a bunch of them because I'm terrible at it. But the more expensive consumer versions, you can turn the lights off or back on, and in some there's different blinking patterns. Like you could have super bright lights so that you could really see it in the dark, in the fog. Generally for a consumer level drone, you're only supposed to fly it in line of sight, so it's got to be in your field of vision. You're not supposed to fly it with the camera on over something that you're not watching the actual drone. But interesting that it's not just Sarah. I have a few more examples, but the other people were a little shy about me sharing their actual video. But in those, I have two or three other cases. It's not a commercial aircraft. So I guess some people, and I want to ask Mr. Caetano's opinion on this. I think some people are just trying to sweep it all under the rug as it's all commercial. And I think the vast majority of these sightings are commercial aircraft, but there's a few in here that, like, it's not an airplane, it's not a helicopter, it's not a balloon, at least according to available data. So what do you think, Mr.
Well,
Caetano?
what is maybe you guys could remind me, what was the precipitating sighting or series of sightings in this flap? Like, were they proven to be
I think
planes?
those were proven to be planes in and
Right.
out of Newark International.
Because then maybe isn't it conceivable that some people could like sort of get in on this and they fly the drones just to sort of add to the flap?
I absolutely. I could imagine, especially I was thinking of myself as a teenager, and if I could go to Walmart as a teenager and buy a drone and sort of see if I could fool people after hearing about this absolutely, I would do it. So I would think that some other kids would probably do it too, right?
Yeah. And uh, UFO Sarah, you know when planes are on that website that you mentioned, the radar one, um, do they have to like how are they tracked? Like is it with transponder or radar or both? Because what
I
if a
believe it's both.
yeah, so like what if a plane like its transponder is broken and like it's flying under the radar and like it maybe it's straight off course or something,
You
or
know,
it's
I would totally go for that, but I can't because on Monday night that plane would have to have done straight off course 3 times in a row within 5 minutes, 7:15 to 7:20 p.m. the ninth, Monday the ninth. And then after I got done talking to Steve earlier today, I went outside and there were three again. So I mean, like then there would have to be three, and one I filmed and sent to him right away, and then two came after that, and I just don't feel like
Yeah, this
filming
one,
them.
I thought the next one though, I thought she was trying to third phase me because there's a reflection of the lights of something in the window that she's filming from, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is Pepper's goat, but it's the lower one that we're
Oh
gonna
no, I
see.
was I was actually
Yeah.
standing outside. I wasn't filming through a window. That's just I think the reflections of the glare of the lights on the
Okay.
street.
Okay. But this is another one that So you'll see a bunch of lights bouncing around. That's the reflection, and she's talking about the lower thing we see during this. But there's another object that we'll see shortly. Right, it's going right through the power lines right now.
And this one is the lowest I've ever seen. And this actually at the end of the video, like I don't know if you'll be able to notice, but I actually do it looks like it's like turning. So I actually film turning to the left and then continuing as if it was going around the block. So just as a thought.
I can see how people would misidentify that it's the size of a car, though, because above these houses, that looks pretty big, right? My first guess would be an airplane or something, though. But did you check flight radar on this one?
I did. I sent you the picture
Okay, you're right.
of flight radar at that moment. I usually check flight radar first, take a screenshot, and then film. I'm getting better at it.
It's definitely weird.
I mean, that's obviously a plane there, but the other ones that were buzzing around.
It's not on flight radar.
That's not on flight radar?
Mm-mm.
No,
It's
just
not.
send me a screenshot. We could share the screenshot.
Just
no-
between
There's no
each
plane.
other.
There's no planes in the area that this was filmed in.
Yes, there were no planes in the area, and it's silent, and it's the same flight path. This is at my sister's house, so this is different house from the other video. And this video, it's the same flight path as I saw them on Monday night last week.
Yeah, my first look on this one, I would think plane, but we have the flight radar data that suggests otherwise. So, and it does appear to be pretty low for a commercial plane to be flying. But again, perception is everything. You know, for all we know, that's 10 miles away, flying above something low, like flying above, a farm field or something 10 miles away. But who knows?
Could it be a crop duster?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, but I don't generally think those guys work at night, so
It could be maybe those planes that monitor ground traffic, like the speeding.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so just so you know, it's not just one. So right after
Yeah.
this, there comes another one, and then right after that one came another one. So it's the same flight pattern. So unless the crop dusting or whatever type of thing you're talking about would fly like that. And I grew up here. And the Philadelphia airport is right, we used to have to lower or pause a movie when a plane goes over because we're right underneath the flight path to Philadelphia. So I know what a plane sounds like. I know what it looks like. It's an odd, this is, I'm just saying there's something there. I don't know what it is.
I used to live in Philadelphia, right next to, like, a couple of blocks from Interstate 95, and the Philadelphia International is down the interstate, and I didn't know this. Commercial pilot told me they follow the interstate sometimes. I mean, they use their instruments, but they also by visual, you just lock into the interstate and follow the interstate right to the airport. So we used to see a lot of similar flight patterns like this. Very interesting, kind of strange footage, though.
I also want to say that I don't think there would be crop dusting going on in this area because it's all houses. Like these are all tiny towns of houses.
Yeah, it's definitely weird. And just to complete the panel, well, we've got a few more people waiting in the wings here. We have a space expert, Ron from Cosmic Neighbors, and I thought that he might offer some. Hey, Ron, are you there? I think his internet is a potato. We'll come back to Ron. And we also have Thin Lizzie Borden, who has been talking about weird drone sightings that she has had for quite some time. So, I wanted to bring her in because I'm sure I've seen examples of this way previous to this recent flap. This person, Lizzie, has been talking about a lot of strange drone sightings. We will welcome. Oh, there's Ron. Is he back? No. Let's get Lizzie. Here we go. Welcome, Lizzie.
Hey.
So you're one of the people that have been twisting my arm long before this flap to talk about weird drone sightings. So do you want to tell us a little bit about some of that you've
Yeah.
been talking about?
Yeah. So I have been talking about these things for 3 years since I've been on camera. Just trying to turn my volume up. Yeah, I've been talking about them for 3 years since I've been on camera. And then finally, it's like getting some attention now. And I have some videos and pictures I have sent to Steven. I can always resend them if needed.
Yeah, maybe if you could resend them while we're talking, and we'll try to play some of them because I
Yeah.
remember some of them are a little weird.
So let me look for that and send it to you real quick if anyone else wants to take the stage.
Oh, we'll see if we can get Ron back, but I think he might be having internet issues. Let's see. Ron, are you there?
Yeah, do you hear me?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
I thought you were having internet problems, but you being sort of have you been following this recent flap, and what are your general thoughts on it while Lizzie
Well, I use X. You can't help but not follow it because
it's all over X.
If you notice, everything switched from disclosure to now with next week we'll be into radiation. You know what I mean? It just keeps switching. Some drones and that stuff going on. But I've seen a lot of channels pop up. It's about engagement farming.
Yeah, and clickbait merchants.
And one thing quick, because I heard what you were saying in the beginning about tracking satellites and all that. You know, a lot of people do that. They'll look up and say, hey, that's not a satellite. I checked it. Something called refraction. All right? So kind of like if you stick a pencil into a glass of water, you know how it's uneven? It's the same in the atmosphere. So when you're looking, I'm sorry, I'm under the weather. When you're looking up and you're looking on your little night camera or something, you're like, oh, look at this orb or whatever. Oh, I checked the sat thing and you're pointing. Well, you can't point right where your camera's going. You're going to have to like shift it a little bit because of refraction. So usually they'll say, I didn't see any satellite. And the best thing to use is, like you said, stellarium is great. But with the drones, I'm not dismissing it. I think there are some things on over there, but I think a lot of people are jumping on the bandwagon, putting up drones, taking videos of them. They're just like engagement farming to the max, man. It's just so annoying.
Yeah, and Ron, don't you think
get to the bottom of it?
Don't you think that the whole conversation in UFO land switched from these fake whistleblowers and fake government insiders who keep getting busted as frauds to now we're actually looking at these drone videos because
it's like
it's a little harder to
misdirection or
debunk.
something.
Yeah, a little harder to debunk this all as a nothing burger. But I have some of the footage here from I have some of this footage that is from Lizzie.
Yeah, so I guess a quick rundown. So this footage was from January 13th from 2020. So this was many moons ago. And we would, because I lived at the time in northern Colorado, and my husband knows kind of, he's always interested in UFOs as well. And so he was outside smoking and then came in and was like, there's like a UFO, there's something in the sky. So I'm like, okay, okay, whatever. And then like I go outside and I'm just like, holy shit, like there were multiple drones. And so that what is something I noticed different from Sarah's video that I saw was that there was only one. And so
in this video, it appears to be multiple sort of lights in the sky.
Yes. And so people wanted to always be like, oh, that's Starlink. No, that it wasn't Starlink. And so they would come as soon as it would get dark. they would come back. And so these drones are staying in the sky longer than anything civilian drone has made. And that, like, mind you, this is in 2020. And so they would come day after day for a period of time, and it was like they would be doing like a grid motion. And so we noticed that it's like all these drones are popping up around like nuclear. And so northern Colorado, not too far from a base there. And so yeah, it's definitely interesting. And so I asked my husband about how big do you think that they were? And so he actually works at the Denver airport. So he knows what a drone is. He knows what an airplane is. And so I asked, how big do you think it is? And he's like, about the size of my 4Runner. I was like, so like a SUV? He's like, yeah, not like a big size SUV, but it would have been that size. And so yeah, it was weird. And there's videos on YouTube from 4 years ago about it catching a little bit of media attention, but obviously nothing like what we're,
The Jersey flap, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, so you guys were pretty sure that these weren't just airplanes off in the distance.
No, not airplanes, because like their lights are different than like the airplane lights, number one, and it is way too low. Like it's way too low to be flying. And so it's like whoever has these things, it's like obviously they're lasting for a long amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, most consumer level drones, 20-minute flight time or less, right?
Yes.
Especially the inexpensive ones.
And so another thing he had brought up was about it being in the wintertime, and why would they be doing it in the wintertime? Well, if they're using infrared, less leaves.
Sorry, could you repeat that last comment, please?
Yeah, so I have ADHD, so I just spaced out what I said. But okay. So it takes my sighting was January 13th, and so a lot of these are being seen in the cold wintertime. And so one theory would be, if they are using infrared cameras, that there is less leaves on the trees.
I don't get it. So what, you would see them better because you'll see them through the trees?
Less foliage.
Okay. I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
And I guess your husband working at an airport, he should know what FAA lights. You're saying these are different than FAA lights? I don't see the red or green. It appears to be just white.
Correct.
Blinking.
Yeah, there's no color to them.
Well,
I just want to say really quick, I'm sitting outside. 2 more have gone to the left of me in the same flight path. One was super low
look
and
at
one was
that.
high.
Look at that. We've got on the ground reporting there somehow. Like, if they're that common, though, it makes me wonder why I haven't seen more examples where we can check the flight radar, because it seems to me like in the New Jersey situation, almost everything that I'm looking at turns out to be FAA lighted regular aircraft. And
do you check out? I'm sorry, Stephen. Do you check ADS B exchange also?
No.
Because that also includes military aircraft.
Oh, flight radar includes military aircraft too, because I go to bed every night staring at the flight map, and not outside, just in my room. And then I hit all the planes, and it's like Delta, US, United. And then there are certain, actually, they have for military planes, they are different icons for them. They're like, so it's interesting, but no.
Yeah, and I just wanted to mention that there's a consensus of a bunch of people that a lot of people would consider experts. I wouldn't call myself an expert, but Mick West and Stephen Greenstreet of the New York Post are showing that even major media outlets are saying drone sighting when it turns out to be an airplane. And in this specific case, he not only identified the airplane, but somehow got an interview with the pilot who said, yep, that's definitely my aircraft that I was flying at that time and date in that video. So it's pretty interesting that there's just so many. Here, we'll take a listen to this.
Flight data. I punched in the available information from the witness, and boom, I saw this plane flying over Mentham, New Jersey, 5:36 to 5:40 p.m., which is around the same time the witness says they took this video. This plane is a PC-12, flight HRF 151, flying from Richmond, Virginia to Teterboro, New Jersey. This extra information over here tells me where the plane is from and who operates it. I then track down the pilot who was flying that plane that evening. His name is Mike Bell, and this is the actual PC-12 plane. I sent Mr. Bell this video of this supposed drone. After confirming his own flight data, he replied, "Yep, that's definitely me."
It does look strange in the video.
How it felt to see himself and his plane on so many news stations, which were referring to him as a mysterious drone. He replied, "I have been told that I tend to drone on, but I've never been called one. At least they got me inside." So the mystery about this viral drone has been solved. Now, if you see this image on the news, you'll know it's just pilot Mike Bell flying his PC-12 to Teterboro Airport.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. And I like that. It does look strange, though, so you can understand why people would sort of say that this is...
Because people are also linking red and green light planes only. If they don't see red and green, they'll usually say, oh, that might not be a plane. You know what I mean? Even though you can see the greenish right here, you don't see a lot of red. And it's also with the phones. You know, the more you zoom in, the more pixelated.
It is interesting, though. I wonder how many people made money incorrectly identifying this as a drone. You know, this one went viral. This was one of the viral posts. You know,
well, and I've seen on one creator kind of goes through different videos, and then it says a crashed drone on the highway, and I'm like, that looks like a plane to me.
Yes,
and,
I have that. I'll share it as well.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
I have that. I'll share that as well. Yeah, I'll have that. I'll get that, because that's another part of this sort of hysteria that's building up around all these events. Is like, you know, there's drone. There's two stories actually of drone crashes, and I have a report from local police that somebody reported a drone crash. They went and investigated and found nothing. You know, and there's another drone ID that's a flight. These are flights. You know, so there seems to be like a hysteria building where everybody's jumping on some of this stuff, going, it's a drone, and they're just misinformed, right?
Well,
I just want to quickly say that I don't believe that these are aliens.
Yeah.
I honestly, they look mechanical to me. It looks man-made. It's just they're here, and I'm not lying. I sent Steven.
Oh yeah, no. Just to be clear, I don't think you're lying at all.
Okay,
I just absolutely, I believe you.
Yeah,
I don't
think
they're aliens. I don't think they're aliens.
It's the definition.
One of the reasons why I'm more willing to listen to UFO Sarah is because I don't know her well just from listening to her in Spaces, but I know her well enough to know that she's not one of those people, and we all know them. They jump straight to aliens, no matter what they see. You know how many people have sent me flapping bird videos where like they film it with their camera, but I guess I always forget that like most people don't have video editing software, so they can't zoom in. But so many people send me these videos and they say this is an alien mothership or this is a swarm of probe ships that came out of a mothership. And then I zoom in and you can clearly see wings flapping. Like Sarah's not one of those people. Sarah actually, sort of eliminate or tries to eliminate. But here's this. Here's this. I can't believe I caught this last night. Got swarms with unmarked cop cars, and they forced me to leave the area. And from at Osiris UAP, Jeremy McGowan, people are now directly hoaxing versus just misidentifying drones. Granted, it's early and I'm not fully caffeinated, but on first glance, I noticed there wasn't anything broken on this drone and the crash looks staged. So this one's not the airplane one. There's another one that's an actual airplane that crashed. This one, it looks like somebody got an old remote control airplane or something and smashed it up and dumped it on the ground and purposefully hoaxed it. Because there's no other, only the person that posted it and got major, huge views reporting on it, right? And this is supposed to be in Brooklyn. Like, wouldn't more people have seen it, take pictures of it? Nope. Just this guy. So that's an indication of hoaxery. It's interesting how much of this has just led to the engagement farmers and clickbaiters jumping in like, let's profit, right?
That's
Yeah,
what
there was also
with Sarah and Lizzie. Like, I believe them. I'm not trying to, whatever I'm saying, I'm not going because that seems legit, but it's those engagement farmers. It's people that used to seem like they were of sound mind are now just going all in and hell with it, throwing reason to the wind, and just like look at that
They're
thing
still,
about
yeah,
there was a
they're,
SpaceX flight that dude just said, "Oh, it looks like a force field in the sky." Like that, like even like I think it was that Chupacabra guy or something like that.
Oh.
Like it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous.
yeah.
Well,
I,
if people have a vested financial interest in creating a mystery, they'll do it, And
yeah.
here's another one I wanted to share. This one has been making the rounds and went viral.
Is it the tracer?
This one is, I'll tell you what it is after we watch it. So this one is supposed to be swarms of drones at super high speeds that are faster than any consumer drone can fly, and all of these things that people are using to clickbait this and engagement form it. Let's take a look at the video.
Like airplane lining up.
I'm going to mute it. Yeah, you are. Your internet is run by a potato today, Ron.
Yeah.
You might want to kill video, and then you'll just be audio, do an avatar, and then you'll probably have a more stable connection. So people are posting this all over the internet saying it's swarms of drones using, they're all flying together. There's a drone swarm or whatever. And UFO of interest correctly identified that what this actually is. He says many UFO grifters and hoax promoters are sharing videos like this, reporting those are mysterious drones. The video is just an example of time lapse of planes landing at Heathrow Airport at night. And here's the original source video. And at normal speed, it's nothing impressive. But if you speed it up, it looks pretty cool, right? But no, it's a swarm of drones. Yeah, so they're all just flying right into an airport. These are just airplanes taxiing, they're flying into the same runway over
Hey, do
much
you
longer.
hear me, Steve?
Yes.
Okay. That also, did you see the other video that he posted a time lapse? And it was like they said it was a swarm of drones, but it was just like Starlinks and satellites going all over the sky.
No, I didn't see that, but I'll find it on your Twitter and see if I can't share it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there, along with them, so this is what is frustrating to me about these kind of situations, because there are a lot of sides to the story, but the biggest side to the story is misidentification. Then we have hoaxers swarming in to get their bit of money out of this. And one of the things that gives me a great deal of caution about this whole event is that the biggest news organization covering this is News Nation, who is basically the UFO news channel. They talk about aliens and whatever all the time. And it's not getting a lot of mainstream coverage other than the fact that the government has commented and said it's mostly misidentifications. There's nothing much there. And I don't know, Ron. I'm looking through your Twitter feed. I don't see the video
No,
that you're
look for
referencing.
it was Ross, good old Ross. He was Kyle just said it in the chat. I forgot who tweeted it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm having trouble. It must be way far down on your feed because I just been through your feed and I don't see it. But I've seen the video that you're referencing. It's another thing that's just Starlink, and of course, Ross Coulthardt's been caught selling fake stories over and over and over again. So there's no mystery when it comes to Coulthard, and yeah, and this one from the average Chris, I think, is important too. Let's share this, and I want to get everybody's reaction to this one because people are straight faking videos now. The average Chris says breaking viral video of man shooting at drone is fake. Once again, Think Tank has been caught posting an edited video of someone shooting at a drone in which the original does not show anything being shot. So this person took the original video and then they overlaid footage of shooting at it.
Mysterious drones in South Jersey. They're down here now.
And that looks like a plane to me.
Yeah, that may be the one that
drone.
Green Street identified.
Exactly. That looks just like a
These are
plane.
military crafts. These are not extraterrestrials. They are not extraterrestrials. These are military craft. I'm looking at it. I hear it. That is a military craft.
Yeah, so that's the I suppose original footage, but this person Think Tank, mysterious military drone captured on video. Again, the further proof that the man shooting at the drone video is fake. And I have that. Let me share my screen again. I apologize. 1 second. Oh, I had it. Let's get it back here.
I also sent you a site for UAS in your Twitter.
Yeah, so first we saw the original video, and now we're going to see now somebody took that video and is saying somebody's trying to shoot the drones down, but the shooting was added to the video. So we saw the original video first. Now we're seeing somebody overlay, a fake. Oh, I'm sorry. Overlay a fake of somebody shooting at the same drone video we just saw with no shooting.
Yeah, I think video game or something.
Yeah, that's definitely overlaid. But then it creates another sensational story. The first one's probably an airplane, the first video, so that's a nothing burger. And then somebody takes the nothing burger and then adds shooting to it, and that's another additional viral story, more engagement farming, more profit being generated by clicks and views. So, wow, just the opportunism of some people is shocking.
That's what's going on, Steve.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm sure there's drones out there, but it's remarkable. Like, people are like, I understand everybody wants to make money, go for it, but they are going all in on this, and they're throwing everything like morals that they claim they have right out.
They don't have any morals. They're grifters,
Yeah, exactly. All of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you should pull up the picture I sent you, Stephen, how it's like the picture kind of gets a clear image of like the individual like placement of the drones. Yeah, so that was a picture.
That's weird.
Yeah. So that's what taking right on the front deck. And so I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Well, if that is somebody flying a bunch of commercial or not commercial, a bunch of consumer drones. I envy them because I could barely control one, and if somebody's flying like
Well, and that's where it's like,
seven
oh
of
my,
them at once, unless it's a guy and his six friends, like I don't know how you would
Yeah,
do that.
drones
well,
can be programmed to fly
You're absolutely right.
with each other, and they can make all these weird patterns in the sky, and like they do that at festivals these days.
Yeah,
for
China
like
especially is doing drone light
4th of
shows.
July
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah,
you can also fly one at a time up in the sky and then just push hover, and it'll just stay as stationary as it can and hover. Then
Mhm.
fly the next one up next to it, the next one up next to it. So conceivably, one person can create quite an interesting sort of hoax
Mhm.
in that using those sort of methodologies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw just to be clear, there's people are sending a bunch of super chats because we have a goal tonight of getting 50 super chats to do, and then we'll do like a Q&A overtime. But just to be kind to my guests tonight, I don't want to stop everybody every few minutes, so we'll read them later on in the show. I will read every single super chat, and thank you all for your kindness, generosity, and support. It's much appreciated. Our goal tonight is 50 super chats, and you can see in the live chat if you're here on YouTube. I haven't checked in, so let me just check in because this is something new. YouTube will tell you what the goal is, and we've got 18 of 50 so far. So thank you all for your kindness, generosity, and support. Let me get rid of that. So, I mean, do you think that we'll go one by one? I want each of you to tell me: is this going to continue this whole flap, or is this going to fizzle out? What do you guys think?
Oh,
And it's
nation. That'll be the news next week.
News Nation, that's the news. Yeah. Well, they're definitely engagement farmers and clickbait merchants of doom.
Yeah, I definitely think it's another, like you were saying, like it's a wave trend currently with it. And then yeah, just the super bad editing. I think now because it caught so much attention, people are still gonna misidentify things even after this. So what does it say? That there's a lot of stupid people here.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe not even stupid, just misinformed or uninformed. Like
Yeah.
it's not easy to, to I don't know, it took me I can't remember the exact steps in which I learned like flight radar and stellarium, but I think it was I think for me it was so many people sending me videos of being a show host, and I kind of got tired of people sending me pictures and video that I was pretty sure was airplanes. So, then I figured out, well, I could use Flight Radar 24, get the metadata, and then you know exactly what it is. And then I could sort of tell people, like, here, it was an airplane, But most people won't go that far. They just see something strange in the sky, and there it is.
Mhm.
And just an interesting thing, Americans for Safe Aerospace, Ryan Graves' organization, he posted a video of a journalist who posted videos of airplanes he misidentified as drones. And so he's supposed to be the director of an aerospace safety organization, and he's posting fake airplane videos that he claims were drones. And these were verified to be fake. They weren't drones, they were aircraft. 100% verified. And Ryan Graves joined NBC News to discuss a UAP sighting, and he's showing videos that are clearly airplanes. This is the same person who is convinced that all these pilots aren't seeing Starlink satellites, when in a few cases we caught him and they clearly are seeing Starlink satellites.
Yeah, I know that he went on Rogan to talked about the drones, but I haven't watched the clip yet. I just saw the title.
Yeah, and here I have another one that I can share that's interesting, I think, because this is more of the conflation and the fakery. So this guy says, saw one tonight. This is not a joke. About 10 minutes before arrival at LaGuardia. This seems a little close to the flight path. No? And let's just see the video first, and then we'll get an explanation. And again, out of focus, grainy, looks strange. Out of focus and grainy will get you UFO dollars, apparently. Because what this actually is this video shows United Flight UAL 2489, Santo Domingo, Newark, at 5,125 feet. It was filmed from Delta Flight Dal 1649. So they know that the two planes were almost 4,000 feet apart vertically, which is well above the minimum separation level. So again, another misidentification. And I don't want to belabor this point, but I could go on for 2 hours doing this and showing the audience just how many of these so-called drone sightings that we've seen in the past month are actually just misidentified aircraft. And it's kind of shocking that so many NBC News is showing people videos of airplanes saying that they're drone sightings. NBC News doesn't know how to use Flight Radar 24 or anything. What's your reaction to the media, guys? What is the media's role in this? Is it intentional? Is it just laziness? Is it just they don't have somebody qualified to?
No, they're just stupid.
They are covering the news, the current events. So
yeah, I mean, I don't blame them for that, but it's just shocking to me that nobody on the NBC News staff knows to check flight radar to make sure it's not an airplane. They just are jumping right to, it's a military drone, it's a Chinese drone. And then, of course, we've got all these stories. Remember the first reports, there was some member of the United States government said that there was an Iranian ship off the coast of the Atlantic, which was the source of these drones.
That's propaganda, political propaganda.
Yeah, and it turned out it turned out this is a rumor he heard on the Hill, and he just repeated it on a news show. And then all the media ran with that story, and then it just turns out this is just a rumor. And the government then comes out and says, no, there's no Iranian ships that we're aware of off the coast of the Atlantic. This is not the source of the drones. And this person went as far as to say that the drones were flying from the ship over New Jersey and then back over to the ship. And then we've got these reports, too, that turned out to be false, that there's some kind of dirty bomb. And this is where we get into conspiracy land nonsense. There's some kind of dirty bomb, right? And a dirty nuclear bomb. You can look that up.
It was a warhead.
Yes.
A warhead, one of 50, that so-called made it from Europe and was on its way to the U.S.
But the story was that these drones had some sort of nuclear radiation detector, and they were searching for the dirty bomb before it went off, and it was Homeland Security. That's why they won't tell us the truth. They don't want to panic people, but there's a dirty bomb in the United States. And on we go in this conspiracy,
Wasn't that dirty bomb story meant to be that it was a Ukrainian dirty bomb? So it makes me wonder whether Russia is getting in on this little caper.
Propaganda piece.
Yeah. I mean, I do think the drones are spying from either Russia or China. That's just my.
Well, we have a verified news story of a Chinese spy that just got caught flying a drone over a sensitive area in the United States and arrested.
Was that drone, that Chinese dude, was that launched from the continental US? Because it would be interesting to do a study, like finding the geographical location of Chinese, owned land, and like companies operating in America. They might be interested in like collecting electronic intelligence and other things using drones, which are commercially.
Yeah, here, just for the benefit of, the benefit of my audience, because you don't have to forgive me. This is a story some time ago. U.S. investigating whether Chinese citizen charged with flying drone over the base committed more serious offenses. So this Chinese citizen flew a drone over Vandenberg Space Force Base, apparently. Mm-hmm. And then he was arrested after the drone was flying over the base as he was trying to exit the country and get on an airplane to go back to China with the drone and the footage. So some of this certainly, and again, this is why these stories frustrate me, because as we've seen tonight, there is different angles of the story. We've got the misidentifications. We've got verified, maybe consumer level drones being flown over some neighborhoods in New Jersey. We've got the misinformation and disinformation coming out of the government and then being corrected. And now we have verified reports of real Chinese spy activities using drones right in the continental United States. So interesting.
Why was he trying to smuggle the drone out? Shouldn't he like just have downloaded the data and then like
You would
destroyed?
think. Yeah, you would think.
He's not the
Yeah, he
smartest.
wasn't a very good spy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Zhu was arrested December 9th before boarding a flight to China, according to the press release. I may be wrong on that data point. Maybe he didn't get caught with it. I heard that he did. While Zhu has not been slapped with charges of spying on behalf of China, in a sworn affidavit justifying the arrest warrant, the FBI agent heading the probe into Zhu described their own experiences, noting, "I am familiar with tradecraft and techniques utilized by foreign adversarial nations and the efforts of those nations undertake to collect intelligence on the elements of military infrastructure of their interest." So interesting. The drone systems detected that the drone flew for nearly 1 hour. And this flies in the face of people say, oh, drone time is only 20 minutes. Not if you got a really good one, you know. This one flew for nearly 1 hour, traveled to an altitude of almost 1 mile above the ground level, and originated from Ocean Park, a public area right next to the base. Base security personnel went to the park, spoke with Zhu and another person accompanying him, and learned that Zhu had a drone concealed in his jacket. That's what happened. The same one that flew over the base. Agents later searched Zhu's drone pursuant to the federal search warrant and saw several photographs of Vandenberg Space Force Base taken from an aerial viewpoint. A search of Zhu's cell phone showed Zhu conducted a Google search approximately 1 month earlier for the phrase Vandenberg Space Force Base drone rules, and messaged with another person about hacking his drone to allow it to fly at higher than it could otherwise. Yeah, and that's something some people might not be aware, but some of the newer drones have built-in inability to fly over restricted airspace. I didn't know that until recently. I have pretty old drones, but a lot of the newer drones that you purchase, they won't fly over Vandenberg. They'll stop because their software knows this is restricted airspace.
It's like a geofence.
Yeah, but people will hack those things to allow them to still
Mhm.
do whatever. So this is another crazy part of the story. There's proof that there's at least a Chinese national. We don't know that he's a spy, but the FBI considered an FBI expert sort of testified in the affidavit that this is tradecraft. He's using the same skills and methods that spies use when they're trying to spy on military, capabilities. So this gets sort of lumped into the whole story too. And then, of course, people are wondering if the New Jersey flap is somehow Chinese drones. But again, most of them are misidentified regular aircraft.
Yeah, I sent you a video of the media covering the drones in Colorado from 4 years ago. But I was going to also add into that there, where we were in northern Colorado, there were a lot of missile silos. So that is also very fun, where it's like, oh, they're
nuclear missiles
all around. Yeah, they're around that.
And a common belief among UFO people is that the aliens are somehow interested in nuclear sites because there's UFO sightings over nuclear sites and nuclear silos, right?
Because
Correct.
the energy they use to travel beyond the speed of light, they need our nuclear.
And like
Could be.
volcanoes also, they're supposed to be. So there are a lot of supposed sightings that, have that in common.
This kind of reminds me. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say also that my husband. So since we saw this 4 years ago, he's also done a lot of researching, and then we found that there was a video from 10 years ago that France was actually looking at drones that were being spotted above their nuclear sites. So that was 10 years ago in France, involving, nuclear power.
There was actually a scientific paper about the French nuclear sites. But this all kind of reminds me of the Robertson panel, the CIA Robertson panel, they warned about Soviet exploitation of the UFO genre to do a sneak attack on America in like to exploit a flap or create one so that American reporting channels would get clogged up and then America wouldn't be able to respond to a nuclear attack. And so this is a little bit similar, maybe to the extent that the Chinese might be involved at all. They might be sort of exploiting this flap to inject their own drones and to collect intelligence. Like, who knows?
Yeah, or use it as cover. Like if we're already if people are already seeing drones everywhere, and suddenly there's 5 or 6 Russian drones taking pictures of whatever they want to take pictures of, or 5 or 6 Chinese drones. I mean, if I was a spy, I would kind of try to use you try to use these situations to your advantage, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah, and that was FBI investigating mysterious drones over Colorado. I don't know if there was ever a resolution to that. It was just
I
weird
don't.
drone sightings. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Like it definitely, like the FBI, like everyone of our agencies were like, we don't know what these are.
Do you remember
Mhm.
Jeremy McGowan,
Do I?
the one that
Yeah. Well, we
you know,
shared that was him that was talking about the people purposefully hoaxing drone crashes with trash earlier.
yeah, I just sent you a DM from a
Okay.
post he put up an hour ago, and it's interesting because he's talking about flight radar. He's showing that how these drones, these military drones, actually have like what is it, NTSB or something like that, tags on them. You'll see, so they show up as a drone. You check it out. I don't expect you to read through it right now, but
No, we can do that real quickly. Here, we'll try to get
it's
through
it's
this, the
yeah.
quick version. Allow me to introduce you to El Mirage Field in California. So, users should navigate to the Flight Radar 24 website or mobile application. In the search bar, enter the aircraft's registration number and select the corresponding result from the drop-down menu. The interface will display the drone's current location, altitude, speed, and flight path. However, it's essential to note that the military and experimental aircraft may occasionally limit or obscure their visibility on public tracking platforms for security reasons. In such cases, users might only see intermittent flight data or placeholder information indicating the general area. N479SG's typical flight patterns include loops over the Mojave Desert and transitions to higher altitudes for performance testing. Observers can study its movements to gain insights into operational behaviors such as loitering, high altitude cruising, and waypoint navigation. By analyzing these patterns, enthusiasts can better understand the functional capabilities of advanced UAS or unmanned aerial systems like the MQ-9 Reaper. And that's a beautiful bird there.
Isn't it?
Unless you're a terrorist. You see that coming and you're a terrorist, that's not a beautiful thing. That's a hellish thing to see, right?
Stephen. Because before I jump off, if do you remember with TikTok when they said, "Oh, a whole swarm of them," right?
Yeah,
Oh, there's a whole fleet of them or something like that.
sure.
But we never seen of them.
Yeah,
We
well,
just kept
everybody
hearing about it.
exaggerates and over embellishes, and then this is where we get to over sensationalizing the story.
You're
People,
hearing the same thing with drones, like a swarm of drones, but you keep videos of some going to from a different
oh,
and they
Ron,
use.
your internet is killing me.
Oh wait, hold on. Let me see something. Do you know?
Yeah, I'm telling you, don't do video. Don't even try. Your internet
Okay,
is a
all right. No,
potato
no, no.
today.
So basically, all I'm getting at, you're hearing about almost all these drones all over the sky, but you keep seeing videos of drone, maybe
Yeah.
sometimes drone, then planes. You're not seeing swarm of drones all over the place in Jersey. You haven't seen those videos, and two drones in a video shot is not a swarm.
Yeah, I agree. It's
So
an over exaggeration.
this falls back to now it's people see this get traction on their clicks and views. How they're gonna run it as far as they can, and when this ends, take it where this story goes, probably into, oh, there's radiation, and they'll start doing that. But I want to see what happens next week, especially in the Northeast if there's a blizzard. See
Yeah,
where their news
it's
goes.
good point. Good point to make. Absolutely. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know. But I'm sorry about my. I'm gonna jump off. I don't know what the heck is going on.
Every time, Ron.
I don't know what the hell's going on every time I connect to you, but my internet's more sick than I am. But anyway, I'm sorry, folks, to blabber
No,
on.
no worries. No worries.
Good night, all.
All
Take
right.
care.
Thank you very
All right.
much, Ron.
He needs some tea with honey.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Caetano, where do you see this story going? Do you think it's going to get over sensationalized even more, or is this going to fizzle out because there's no there there?
It'll still get sensationalized for a little while, but then it'll fizzle out. But it'll still be referred back to, I think, like as a flap, because people will still take a long time to really fact check it. So and
Yeah.
it's happening now, so people are sort of intrigued and they want it to be true. So I think it'll fizzle out, but it'll be referred back to as like a wave or a flap.
And what did you think of the really over sensationalized alien true believers? Because some of them were saying that these are alien space probes and they're disguising themselves as they're disguising themselves as 747 somehow with, you know, holographic projection, and so
People
they're
should
just yeah.
people should learn what Occam's razor is.
Yeah, the simplest explanation is usually true.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I'm a big believer in that, right? Alien spaceships pretending to be 747s, or maybe it's just you're looking at a 747, right?
Yeah, but there's also even if people reject the ET hypothesis, they still kind of fall back on the government disinformation or confusion hypothesis. So a lot of people are saying, like on YouTube comments, that the government is trying to confuse us for some reason or to distract us from what's going on in politics. So I think that's been a pretty standard trope throughout ufology as well.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. But, you know, at some point, I just kind of check out on some people that are sending me messages and trying to argue with me. I'm like, okay, it's an alien space probe disguising itself as a 747. You know, whatever you want. You know, I can't really.
You can't argue with a crazy person.
Yeah, and I wanted to share this as well. This is this is some of what people are calling orbs, plasma balls, energy aliens, or whatever. And this is shared by the average Chris. I mean, it looks pretty cool, but this is serious. This is Beetlejuice. This is
Where's
Al
Uranus?
Ninalam and Procyon. I don't know if these are star. I think these are stars.
Yeah.
And this is what they look like when filmed from an iPhone zoomed way in. You know, that's atmospheric, you know, interference, whatever causes this effect. Yeah, it sort of looks like a plasma ball, but it's still a star. And some of the alien true believers are going nuts, saying this can't be a drone. Look at it. It's a plasma ball, or what, you know, okay, it's an orb. But this is verifiably stars filmed through an iPhone or a similar device.
Mm-hmm.
Looks interesting, you know, but it is what it is. And I guess people just want to believe in the mystery, though. So it becomes more than it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of those was actually on Fox News. And
Yes.
somebody was saying, I think it was a Republican congressman or something. He was saying that the government is not protecting us. So that's also, all this stuff with the border as well and America's
It's a
insecurities.
fundings issue, because I know
Yeah.
that there is some program within the United States government to monitor, track, and investigate drone activity, and that's expiring at the end of this year. And so, of course, conspiracy theorists, some of them are saying, well, this is all just a government psyop to get that money back. They want to extend that program. Could be. I mean, who knows? But it's weird that this happens right at the end of the year, right as a program that is pretty well funded to study drone activity is ending. They need the
Yeah.
funding again, maybe. Who knows? The threat narrative really works. You're right. Mr. Caetano correctly points out that people are very concerned with security, border security, and what the government is doing to protect the average citizen. And it is kind of alarming that it took so long for the government to figure out that they don't what this stuff was, which is mostly misidentifications. Like you didn't know that, and then you have the local authorities sort of contradicting the other authorities, and then along with all this conflation, there's one more point that I forgot to include here tonight, which is that some people who have consumer drones are saying that they're trying to fly their consumer drones up to these other drones and they're instantly losing power and dropping from the skies.
Now,
But
is that recorded or just hearsay?
that's just kind of hearsay, like the battery died instantly as soon as it went up in the sky. And
There
who
is
knows?
a video that shows someone shooting a tracer rounds at a drone, and then another angle of it said this is why you don't shoot at drones, and then it was the seeker rounds, and then it looked like it was just deflecting it. So it's
Yeah, but
now, is that legit or
that
not
might not
is
be a
another
real
thing.
video. Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
couple of people shooting at drone videos going around that are verifiably fake. So who knows, right?
Mm-hmm.
It might just be conflation or hoaxing. And I guess another thing that gives me pause about this is we've got some of the UFO celebrities are chiming in with what's really going on. People like Stephen Greer. And of course, Lou Elizondo is claiming that he's been trying to warn the government about the drone problem for years, but we have a verified tweet from him basically saying, these aren't drones. They can't be drones. I don't care about drones, from a few years ago. But the UFO celebrities desperately need something to cash in on. So we've got Third Phase of Moon and Stephen Greer and my favorite of late, Billy Carson. Please don't sue me, Mr. Carson, but it's true. They're all chiming in, telling us what's really happening.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
You guys are grifters. That's what you're doing. And it does seem to me, I want to get both your opinion of this. Leading up to this drone thing becoming super viral on Twitter and everywhere else, it seems like a lot of the UFO figureheads were getting busted as frauds. And now, all of a sudden, we're not talking about them. We're talking about these videos and this drone event. I think that's more than convenient. It's almost as if their grifts were coming crashing down. Billy Carson was recently terribly discredited as kind of a joke, and Elizondo's sharing verifiably fake pictures of UFOs in his paid performances or speeches. And Grush went and vanished. Yeah.
Yeah. That's so. Do you think that they're boosting these grifters and others are boosting these sightings as a way to sort of distract from
Yeah.
the?
And also they can't continue with the I'm an expert, trust me, bro stories, because these people are being busted that they're not experts. We've got Ryan Graves sharing verified videos of aircraft saying that they're drones. He just got a Rogan appearance as an expert on what's going on with these drones. He verifiably is sharing videos of commercial airliners saying that they're drone sightings, and he gets on Joe Rogan.
Mhm.
They can't keep talking about the so-called experts and the trust me bro stories, because like Rush comes crashing down, Elizondo comes crashing down, Billy Carson just got busted, as being largely not credible.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden we're looking at these videos and everybody's talking about this. It's very convenient.
Well, it could be that we were just overdue for another flap, and the grifters just they're going to exploit
They come and go,
everything.
yeah.
Yeah, it's whatever new thing that they can. It's just grasping at different straws.
They got to talk about something, right? And now
Yeah.
I love how suddenly so many of them were always saying, these things are not drones. These are non-human intelligences.
I mean, this, to me, that is a definition of UAP. It's an unidentified aerial,
Something, yeah. But it's
Yeah.
funny that they were always like definitely not drones. It can't be drones. And now a bunch of the same people who said all that are suddenly drone experts. You know what I mean? It's like,
Mhm.
wait a minute. You said for years that these were non-human intelligence spacecraft from, the planet Xanadu or another star system. Now all of a sudden, oh no, this is top secret government drone projects. And they're all doing that dance like, I know the truth about what's really happening. Tune into my video. And tonight I tried to say, I'm not an expert on these things, but let's try to peel back some of these layers of conflation and deception. I think it's just a combination of all these different things being thrown together and made to work. It's like the Alex Jones thing. If you connect enough dots, you'll get this grand overarching conspiracy, and that's what I think many people are trying to do, right?
I mean, there's a lot of conspiracies going around, and if you are energetic enough and charismatic enough, you'll get followers like Alex Jones, just like all the other, just like the UFO grifters. How I don't think David Wilcock is charismatic, but some people obviously do.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Has he commented on the drones at all?
Who specifically?
David.
David
David
Wilcock?
Wilcock. Yeah.
Oh, not yet. I'm sure he'll weave it into his narrative. David,
What about Mike Horn?
oh, to be honest, Mr. Caetano, I haven't heard anything from that guy in years. He's got his Billy Meyer grift going, selling those $400 books that he gets a piece of, and
Yeah.
yeah, but he'll probably weave it in too. They're all weaving this in, you know. Some people are saying that this is the lead up to Project Bluebeam, where they're going to fake an alien invasion, and these are test flights, but they haven't turned on the holographic projectors yet. It's getting really deep out there. I'm
Yeah.
going to need waiters soon to get through it all. Yeah, and Mr. Caetano, didn't you, your partner for the Scientific American? By the way, we're really classing it up because Mr. Caetano had an article in Scientific American recently. I'll add it to the description of this video.
Oh, it's an opinion piece, but
Yeah, but still, whoa, good for
well,
you.
we're actually also updating the 74-page ORSAP ATIP history document, which is on academia.edu. But it's gonna be about 89 pages, the next edition, with some additional stuff to do with Elizondo's latest book.
Boy, and that was so well done. I just want to copy and paste it and slap my name on it. Call it a book, right? It's 89 pages. Come on.
Well, did you hear that Elizondo recently, like he was having to backtrack about a photo which was actually a chandelier?
Yeah, we covered that. We covered that.
Well,
Yeah.
you did, yeah.
I knew that was Pepper's ghost right away. And this is why sometimes disconnected cases are still good to just work them all. Because I had been through so many third phase of moon fakes and saw so many of their Pepper's ghost illusions. For those unaware, it's like you film through a sheet of glass and then something behind you is lit up and it looks like it's in the sky. So Elizondo gets caught selling a completely fake image that he claimed was a mothership. And he talked to the pilots that saw it. It turned out to be a chandelier filmed through an apartment window. Yeah, totally fake. That guy's falling apart. And then recently he said that this is interesting for people that are fans or maybe not fans of Elizondo. He recently did an interview with John Greenwald, and he said today a new interview with Lou Elizondo claims he and UFO whistleblower David Grush worked together at U.S. Space Force on UAPs funded by USSF with data surpassing that he collected with ATIP. So suddenly he was part of another UFO program. But Dark Journalist said, I asked Grush point blank, he spoke to him directly, if he had ever worked with Lou Elizondo, and he said no, but that Lou had tried to groom him for his media efforts. As I've always proven, Lou is not a whistleblower who quit in protest. He was always worked for the government as a counter intel agent. And here he is admitting to it. So that's interesting. He's saying that he worked with Dave Grush and they got all this UFO data. But Dave Grush, when speaking to a journalist, said, I never worked with Lou Elizondo, but he helped groom me for my media appearances. These guys are all deception. They're all deception. That's why I think we're suddenly looking at videos of so-called drones or UFOs again, because these guys can't keep talking, because every time they talk, they get caught lying to us, right?
Yeah.
It's terrible.
They even contradict each other or themselves in their own books. Like one page says one thing and then the other, few chapters later, it's something different.
Oh, absolutely. You gotta love it. You gotta love it, right?
Mhm.
Like it's, and you know, I don't know if you've observed this, Mr. Caetano or Lizzie, but to me, I want these guys to keep talking, because it seems to me that the more they talk, the easier it is to catch them and
I
call
was
them out as
I
liars.
was going to say, so they couldn't give themselves enough rope to hang themselves.
Yeah, it's like the longer they're here, the more comes out, and then after a while, like with Ross Coulthart, when he first came out with the Grush story, it's like, okay, he had one really bad fake story in his past that had nothing to do with UFOs. But the longer Coulthart was here, he pushed the Grush story. Then he pushed the alien ball shavings fake story and over sensationalized that. Then he pushed the giant UFO story. And and then it's another one and another one. And now we're on to, he's talking about Psychic
Get
Kid
another one.
being recruited to the military or something. Like, it just gets stupider and stupider. The longer they talk and the longer they're here, the easier it is to spot a grifter, which is 99% of these people, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's interesting. The longer they're here, the easier they are to bust, right?
Yeah, and the more that you can sort of observe them taking elements out of other stories, which have already done the rounds in ufology.
They pick up old hoaxes and they run with them. Yeah. My favorite, Mr. Caetano, is this Jon Stewart who's running with the alien interview hoax from the 90s. And he had to take his video down because he basically accused Stan Deo, the UFO researcher, of being Victor. And Stan Deo instantly came out and said, I don't know what this idiot's talking about. I have nothing to do with that. I had no involvement whatsoever. And as I understand it, Mr. Deo can actually prove that he was somewhere else entirely in the country or the world when that was filmed, and it couldn't have been him. Like, he has proof it couldn't have been him. So this idiot Jon Stewart has to take his whole documentary off of his paywall and try to figure out how to rejigger it now. It's beautiful. And in that case, like, to me, when you look into the people involved in it, we've got a convicted child molester. We've got a guy who is convicted of bank fraud and stealing over $1 million from old ladies. And we've got a career-long grifter. We've got a fake image analyst. Like, how much more do you need to say this is not a credible piece of information from these criminals? But this guy picked up this old hoax and he's made a whole documentary, and he's been grifting on this thing for years. And it's total, already debunked horse shit, fake. The guy interviews himself. I don't know if you know that. The guy interviews himself. He asks the questions, and then they put a voice disguiser on and he answers the question while they're filming some guy in shadow that most people say is Bob Dean, because he had liver spots on his hand and they had gloves on the character. It's so stupid. But yeah, people pick up these old hoaxes and run with them. And one thing you'll notice is that these so-called government experts on UFOs, they never have any new or unique information. It's all stuff that anybody can find on the internet. So that's a red flag. If you were involved in this secret government UFO program, shouldn't you have some new shit? They don't. They don't have anything new. It's just shit anybody can Google. That's what they're talking about. It's terrible. But I want to thank both of you guys for joining me and trying to peel back these layers of deception and conflation that I think are forming this story. To me, it was a nothing burger when I started looking into it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of the stuff people are sending me that can't be shown to be regular aircraft is interesting, but there's very few of those, 2 or 3 maybe, and the rest very clearly are aircraft. So I feel like, what's the story here? Why is this such a huge story? I guess because there's nothing else to talk about, And when this is over, we'll go back to talking about Roswell again or something. Or James Fox's new shit documentary where some dude that talked to blue chicken aliens and did 20 and back is in his doc. He didn't edit that out, Mr. Caetano. I can't wait.
Funny.
What are you working on, Mr. Caetano? What do you have coming up? Anything to plug?
Oh, just the paper, the updated 8-tip BORSAP
Awesome.
history with Vicente Juan. And yeah, I don't know what else, but I'm sure I'll come up with something.
Okay, excellent. Well, don't be a stranger, and thanks for doing it.
I also did a short interview with Greg Agesian actually on my channel. So
yeah, and that was excellent. I was jealous. You have to give me his
contact on your show.
Yeah, you should give me his contact info. I'd love that. I would absolutely love that. That would be great. So I want to thank all of our panel members, including the ones that had to drop out, for trying to shed some light on this drone mystery. At least we know a little more, and knowing is half the battle, like G.I. Joe, right?
Definitely.
All right, thank you, Thin Lizzy Borden, and thank you, Mr. Caetano. You both have a good evening.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, and we are gonna address the live chat. I'm sorry for it's taken me so long. There's so many of these super chats. Wow. All right. So for those unaware, we had a super chat goal of getting 50 super chats of $5 or more. And we are at 26 of 50. Very, very generous of you all. Let's go. Let's see if we can get the other 24 of these super chats. But what we're going to do is I'm going to read the super chats so far. And there's so many of them that there's only one way for me to do this. 1 second here. I'm just going to share my super chat breakdown screen. We want to thank Uncreative Deconstruction for a kind and generous $2. For those unaware, I read every single super chat. Sometimes we don't get to them till later in the show because I feel uncomfortable, especially when we've got a bunch of guests, to stop and praise the cash every time we get a super chat. So tonight we'll read them all at once. I appreciate your content. It's very fascinating, says Uncreative Deconstructionism. Okay. And Suffer Things with a kind and generous $5 says, attention, pay pigs. Steal mommy and daddy's credit card and felt the goat. Thank you for that. You put a smile on my face. Mr. Slaughter with a kind and generous $1.99 super chat says, halfway, bish. H, what up, with a kind and generous $5 says, this just in. Dave Blunt breaks character and gets emotional in recent Bradley Martin interview. Well, that's interesting. RP with a kind and generous $5 says, using your knowledge of drones, what size engine would you need to be able to fly a 300-pound hog across Mexican border into California? I have no idea. All my drones are like little $100 or $200 drones. But we thank you for your kindness. Very generous of you. And what the hell kind of project you got going where you need to fly a 300-pound pig across the border? Wow. Stuffing things with a kind of generous $5. How are people still talking about this? Ralph is using the drones to look for Zans, like Xanax. ML with a kind of generous $20 says thanks. Sandra McDonald with a kind of generous $7.99 super chat says, and again, Fat Chick Thriller, very kind and generous $7.99 Australian says, these drones are great, but they sure aren't nerds on at 0.5 speed. Nerds on the go at 0.5 speeds. How many subs, Steve, for the 0.5 speed goal? Oh, 100. If you gift 100 subs, I'll do a Nerds on the Go. I'll pick one randomly and we'll do it at 0.5 speed. It's so boring at regular speed. RP with another kind of generous $2 says, you think all the MUFON is getting tired this week? Yeah, I think they are. And we have Dro Leo with a kind of generous $5. Turns out I don't have anything to say anyway. Here's more money, though. And then another one with no message. Thank you. And we have Chan's Incorporated says, hey, Steve, you should look at Wayne Lambright and his anti-gravity coil. Not a grift, but he is really bloody funny. him or Montegraph's remote viewing. I'll check out both of those. Thank you for your kindness. K Vibes with a kind and generous $5. Let's hit the goal. Chwat Chiat. God bless the goal. Yes, God bless the goal. And thank you for helping us to praise the cash, and all of you for helping us to praise the cash, K Vibes. Sun Lover 5000. No message. Kind and generous $5 super chat. H, what up with another one? Yo, Steve, hope you're doing good tonight. Glad you're covering this. Been hearing this could be Chinese spy drones from the New York Post. Could be. Stuffing things with kind and generous $5. Dono, or else Steve will have to move into Ralph's Tin Shack to get by. Oh, God forbid. Yeah, please praise the cash, bitches. I don't want to suffer like Ralph. No, I can't. I can't. Dono of Spite with a kind and generous $5. Fu KH, the gay furry gaming stream from Andy. Let's get some subs. Yeah, let's go, friends. I don't know how closer to the goal we are. I'll check in a moment. But we're looking for 50 super chats of $5 or more. We're more than halfway there. So get out your wallets, because the truth ain't free, okay? Disclosure is expensive. Gula with a kind and generous $5 super sticker. Thank you very much. Fat Chick Thriller with another one, $14.99. No anal cavity is safe in New Jersey right now. The only way to save yourself is to hit that goal. Praise the cash. God bless the goal. And if you're listening and very bored with me just reading these super chats, we're going to get through this and then have more content for you shortly, especially if we hit the goal. Stuffing things. Let's go. Suffa stream goal. Yes. Thank you. Archduke Instinct with a kind generous $25. Stand up. Be counted. God bless the goal. GG Evan 317. Where did all these drones come from? Iranian mothership, DARPA program, another planet, the Y-Files, all of the above. Can't wait for your next appearance on Kino Casino. Kind of generous $10. Thank you. I hope we've answered your question. Most of this was misidentifications. Dono of Spite with another $5. Been watching the sector since 2018. First time donating to a Kino tuber. Let's get more views on this show than Andy's shit-ass furry gaming stream. Andy. Oh, Andy Worski's shitty gaming. Yeah, God, I will bust his balls forever. And he likes to bust my balls saying he gets more views in his shitty gaming stream than I do. But, you know, he's got, 20 times the subscribers I do, and he's barely beating me. Worski. But thank you, Don't Know of Spite. Johnny Wonder, I wish you could go on Rogan. So do I. Thank you for your kind and generous $5 super chat. Jay Williams, Billy Carson is behind these drones. Thank you for putting a smile on my face, Jay Williams. Stuffing things, very generous. Let's go. US $50. Billy Carson told me that the drones are actually just a cover of an old PS2 game. Thank you for your kindness. Very, very kind of you. Stuffing things. I don't know where stuffing things is stuffing things, but I instantly thought of stuffing things in butts, and that's gross. Mr. Slaughter, kind and generous $4.99. God bless the goal. We have Rerun with a kind and generous $2. Appreciate the quality content. And Sandra McDonald with a kind and generous $7.99. No message. So we thank you. Oh, and I forgot. I didn't know that I wasn't sharing it on the screen. We generally share each super chat on the screen, but when we have just so many of them, all of you kind and generous people. So I'm just going to run through and call you out once again with your name on the screen. Uncreative Deconstructionism, Stuffing Things, Mr. Slaughter, H What Up, RP, Stuffing Things, ML, Sandra McDonald, Fat Chick Thriller, RP, Droleo, Chaos Incorporated, K Vibes, Sunlover 5000, H What Up, Stuffing Things, Dono of Spite, Gula, Fat Chick Thriller again, Stuffing Things again, Archduke Instinct, GG Evan 317, Dono of Spite, Johnny Wonder, Jay Williams, Stuffing Things, Mr. Slaughter, Rerun, Sandra McDonald. There we go. I think we got him. All right. So thank you all, and I apologize. Very, very difficult. Now what we're going to do here is now if we have new donos, I will be able to share them right on the screen because I believe that we are all caught up. And this is the last big one from Stuffing Things. Billy Carson told me the drones are actually the cover of a PS2 video game. A likely story. Billy Carson is behind these drones. Oh, I'm way back in the live chat. Let me catch up to the latest in the live chat. This new software is killing me though, friends, because okay, I can just grab the slider and run down. All right. 1 second. So the next bunch. Let me check in with the goal. God bless the goal, friends. We got to God bless that goal. Our goal tonight is 50 super chats, and we're at 26. And remember, they're $5 or more for the goals. We need 24 more of you kind and generous people. 1 second here. The last couple of ones. Well, yeah, it seems like it's not updating the goal. Why is this? And did we miss some? Seems like we missed some. Let me go back here in the live chat. Yeah, that is weird. 1 second. 1 second here. Yeah. Oh, I'll share some of these. P18, thanks, Steve and panel. We have Sleazy with the kind of generous $5. Have you thought about super chat makeup streams? I may call you JP, but it's from an endearing space. I shielded your channel last week when I was streaming. Good. I mean, I'm open to all things. McLarge Huge UFO 510. Let me see something if I exit out of the. I don't think that the goal is updating because it looked like we had a bunch of new ones and it's still showing 26 of 50, which is what it was before I did all that and read all that. Come on, YouTube. God bless the goal. God bless the goal. No, it still says 26 of 50 in the goal. Maybe it's because some of them are under the 5, but some of them are definitely big. Saw an unnatural flak of not planes in the sky on the way to a concert on the first. Recent hysteria aside, it definitely was happening. My guess is that they're all our own drones. Government knows what's up, but won't tell us. Yeah, and I have some additional information to share that we're going to get to. Incredible Varan says, Highlander was a documentary. I am immortal. And MK Ultra says, let's go. Suffer drones. P18 says, make Stephen read more. Michael Siebold says, Rogan needs to put you on. He shall suffer. Great show again. Well, thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. VTR, go on Piers Morgan's show. I certainly would. If he invited me, I definitely would. Oh, my timer is out on the super chat goal. That's what it is. All right, we're going to have to hand count them. And you know what I'll do? We're going to have a musical break. Thank you. Important to let me know. I think it's a 3-hour timer and we're only at 1 hour and 57 minutes. So how is that? Yeah. Let me, 50 teal super chats. It's gotta be. Yeah, something's not right here. Let me see if we can't figure this out. Maybe I did put it to 2 hours, and it times out. All right, let me do this. There's got to be. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. I think we're at 32 or so. So that would mean we only need 18 more. Timer is out on the super chat goal. Perhaps. Yeah. So here's what we're going to do. The show is definitely not over. Outwardly, Stuff and Things says, outwardly, I want you to count all the gifted memberships towards the goal. Inwardly, I want you to shaft the piggies. Also had a timer set on the goal and it expired at 26 chats. Okay, well, we'll figure this out. We're going to hit that goal. Yeah. Suffer Stevens user interface for reading super chats. Oh my God, you guys are crazy. So listen, the show is not over. I think we might have already hit the goal, but I got to go add them up. Like old school here. It'd be nice to have an Andy Worski here to keep track of this shit for me. Where's Andy Worski? He's probably dressed as a gay furry playing shitty video games right now and not even streaming it. That's what I think. So we're going to have a musical guest here. And in the meantime, I will count up the super chats and know exactly where we're at with the goal. Our goal is 50 super chats of teal or better, meaning $5 or better. And then we go into overtime. You guys know me. I'm going into overtime either way, but I would like to hit the goal. 'Tis the season to be broke. Yo, my kids think I'm Warren Buffett or Bill Gates, or they think I got Elon Musk's wallet. My kid's asking for all kinds of shit. I'm like, you're 8, dude. He wants a VR PlayStation, and he wants the new Grand Theft Auto, and he wants like 10 other games. I was adding it up, and I kept thinking of that meme with Joe from the Tiger King, just going, I'm never going to financially recover from this. 'Tis the season to be broke. So help a brother out and praise the cash. Brother, can you spare $1? Or 100, preferably. I think we hit the goal. We'll take a quick musical break, and I always have to do this. I'm going to put up a quick banner that says the show is not over. We're returning with overtime, because sometimes people tune in and they just see that video playing and they say, oh, the show is over. The show is not over. We will return with overtime. So we're returning for sure with overtime. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. I have some interesting things to share, a couple of videos that I think we should share, and then we'll do a Q&A as well. It's not just pay to play here. Sometimes people get upset and they say, he only reads the super chat. He doesn't read the rest of the chat. I try to read the chats, and we include everybody here. So get your questions and comments together for me and put them in all capital letters. When I come back from this quick break, after I try to figure this out, suddenly I got to do some accounting here because YouTube timer went off. After I figure that out, I will be right back after this quick musical guest. We'll be right back, friends. Don't go anywhere. We're going into overtime. We'll read every remaining super chat, and we will hopefully we're celebrating hitting the goal. We'll be right back, friends.
Forget the bullshit. Funky disclosure. If you seek Amy, then funky disclosure. What's the cock? Funky disclosure. You're all out of the luck. Funky disclosure. We won't get our funky disclosure. Aliens or not, just funky disclosure. Tom DeLonge on the case. Funky disclosure. Blink 182 up into space. Funky disclosure. Louis Elizondo files. Funky disclosure. Pentagon dollar cash bribes. Funky disclosure. Clear on the grid CE5. Funky disclosure. Meditate to see that live. Funky disclosure. Logan's podcast hype. Funky disclosure. Talking celebrity hype. Funky disclosure. Celebrity grift in the know. Funky disclosure. Narrative you don't know. Funky disclosure. Alien under the box. Funky disclosure. Putting it all on block. Funky disclosure.
I think we've seen about 40 or 50 of these drones. In fact, there's one over my shoulder right there. One after another, after another. These drones appeared in the night sky. If you look real close, they look like fixed-wing aircraft.
Welcome back, friends. I want to thank Simon Fly for that excellent music video. I saw somebody in live chat saying, what the hell is this? It's people channeling aliens set to music. And it makes me wonder, did the aliens know that we were going to make them suffer, and make fun of them and put them in a music video? I don't know, but these people claim they're channeling aliens. And by the way, they claim that they're channeling blue avian aliens, which Corey Good admitted he made up and don't exist, under oath or something like that. And we were at 38 for the goal, or 39 for the goal, and this makes 40. So we just need 10 more. Zero with a kind generous $5 super chat. If you want to see some aliens, you need to get some galaxy gas. I can't believe that Whippets is coming back. And isn't it funny, like the galaxy gas that they sell you, you can make something ridiculous, like thousands of bottles of whipped cream out of it. So there's no way people are using that for culinary purposes. That's to get high. That's what I think. I'm entitled to my opinion. Here's Mike Larry with the kind and generous $5 New Zealand saying Truth Seekers rules. Now we need 9 more. I'm going to try to call them out as I see them. So 8 more to hit the goal. God bless the goal. Praise the cash. I am blessed. Let's see. Have you watched Vermilion from the Violet Gateway? No, but it sounds right up my alley, especially if I want to watch wackadoos. I read one of their books and they mentioned lizard people in one of their podcasts. What's the similarity with aliens and lizard people about? Well, it depends on who you ask, Gothi Senpai, because some people say the reptilian aliens are inner Earth and they live in caves and underground, and they're not aliens from space, but they are sort of the ancient precursors to mammalian humans on the surface. I don't know if that's true, but that's what people say. And then there's another subset of alien true believers that believe the reptilians come from the Draco star system, and they're a race of reptilian alien beings. And so now we need 8 more, 7 more. Mike Larry, the kind and generous $5 New Zealand, just says, "Rrr." Okay, yeah. Oh, look at that. We've got another one, P18, with another "Rrr." Rrr. So what is that? 7 more we need? Mike Larry has gifted 10 Truth Seekers memberships. That is very, very kind of you, Mike Larry. And then we have Goober. Goober gets a free membership. Killpath 5000 gets a free membership. Irresponsible gets a free membership. Nick Harden gets a free membership. Where do we have Nick Harden here? And this is why you got to hit that subscribe button, because if you're in the live chat and you're a subscriber but not yet a YouTube channel member, when kind and generous, wonderful people like Mike Larry give these memberships, it gets randomly distributed to subscribers in the live chat who are not yet channel members, like Durwood McSlovich, who is now a channel member courtesy of Mike Larry, Jolio, or J-O, J-O, got a free membership. The Troll Wins Boy got a free membership. Donald 5 got a free membership. Mark Center got a free membership. And JG got a free membership. All right, so and then with 6 more super chats of $5 or more, we hit our goal. This is almost pogo levels of music making. Yeah, I can see that. 6 more. Fat Chick Thriller, 6 more. I lost the bet you would be muted when you got back. Oh, you know what? Yeah, this thing is killing me, but there's a button to mute myself backstage. So in other words, if I take myself out, you should be able to hear me. Actually, somebody let me know. I'm going to drop out for a second. Let me know if you hear me talking. So let me know in the live chat, did you hear me when I dropped out? Because I said, here's me talking backstage. Do you hear me? I lost the bet. Suffer. Thank you, Fat Chick Thriller. Very, very generous of you. Very kind and generous supporter. And of course, somebody's saying, "Suffer, fat chick thriller." Yeah, I got it right. All right, good. Then we don't we found a way to fix that. There's just a button that says "Listen Offstage Feeds." And if I let that on, you will hear me when I go backstage. If I don't, I should be muted. And then I will not. I hate that. It kills me. Like starting the show being muted. I'm like, oh no. Because the audio files, I will get nasty messages. It's so stupid, but I'll get nasty messages. And people will say, like, oh my God, how unprofessional. Like, do you think you're watching a professional fucking broadcaster? Are you stupid? I'm barely figuring this shit out. Fat Chick Thriller, don't forget the 40 memberships earlier. Did you send 40 memberships? No, you didn't. Did you really? How come I don't see them? Oh, did you send 40 memberships, Fat Chick Thriller? Really? I missed it. If I did miss it, holy shit. That's very generous. It's like $200. You're kidding me. You're kidding me. LM says, I effed up my YouTube account somehow. I cannot get memberships, but hey, I caught another live stream. Now I can't complain. And Crosscat letting me know it couldn't hear me. All right, so there's another thing I wanted to share, which is very, very interesting here. 1 second. U.S. government tries to, here. This may explain some of the drone sightings. 1 second. Let me cue this up here. And it's Sandbox, which is a great YouTube channel that I just found recently. Somebody turned me on to them. NASA drone testing program may be behind New Jersey sightings, New Jersey drone mystery. This is very, very interesting to me. And so this is fair use. It's transformative work. We're educating the public. So we're going to be going through this video. It's a short video, 3 minutes. And this may explain some of the actual real drone sightings that are not misidentified aircraft, that are not misidentified helicopters, that are not misidentified Saturn, Venus, or stars. And this I found very, very interesting. And it just goes to show you, sometimes I don't dig enough because this person dug deeper than me and found some interesting stuff.
Well, it's sure starting to look like the New Jersey drone mystery has been solved, at least in large part. And more than that, the culprits behind these drone swarms may have also been behind similar swarms spotted over Langley Air Force Base last December.
Oh, wow.
And that culprit seems to be NASA. Or rather, a long list of organizations and corporations partnered with NASA on what they call the Advanced Air Mobility Mission.
Wow.
Now, near
Very
as I can
generous.
tell,
Thank
this
you,
theory
Fat
was
Chick
first
Thriller.
posited by a TikTok creator named JK Ultra. But it first caught my attention thanks to that Intel guy. Then, since he pointed me in the right direction, I've been doing some reading, and I can now tell you that last December, the U.S. Transportation Command, Air Mobility Command, the National Aerospace Research and Technology Park, and the Atlantic County Economic Alliance announced the establishment of a testing corridor between Delaware and New Jersey for a long list of military, commercial, and academic drone technologies. And according to their press release, these drone tests would not only be conducted in and around military installations, but could instead be launched and recovered from anywhere within this drone testing corridor, which they identify as between Joint Base McGuire-Dix-Lakenhurst in New Jersey and Dover Air Force Base in Delaware.
And that would mean that this drone corridor is right in line with the area of people that are seeing these drones in New Jersey. In other words, the corridor corresponds to the area of this recent drone flap sighting, which to me is extremely, extremely interesting. And I'm terrible at this. Let me put my fair use banner. This is a transformative work. We're educating the public. I will try to be a good show host and put the link to this video that we're sharing in the description of the video. Also want to thank Cosmic Judas for the drone dragon video that we shared earlier. Just funny stuff. All right, let's see what's going on with this NASA drone corridor.
And according to that federal press release, this testing corridor is meant for the rapid development of commercial, academic, and federal government drone systems that could benefit future applications for the strategic airlift capabilities of the U.S. Air Force. But I can already hear you saying, well, if it was this NASA-led program, why haven't they come forward? And I honestly couldn't tell you, but the evidence suggests this isn't the first time that happened. Last December, there were similar reports of mysterious drone swarms operating over U.S. military installations.
Yeah, but that wasn't quite as big as this drone flap that we've experienced with the New Jersey one. But interesting that NASA and commercial partners have all established this drone corridor for testing purposes that corresponds directly with the area that all these drone sightings are taking place in. Very interesting.
Like Langley Air Force Base in Virginia. And near the end of December, NASA released a press release explaining that they'd been testing automated drone systems beyond line of sight and without visual observers on pre-planned routes around Virginia. Now,
in other words, they're programming a drone's flight path and then they just let it go and nobody's watching it. Nobody's line of sight piloting it with a controller out in a field somewhere. They're just pre-programmed, launch from a launch point, and then they go to wherever they go to. Very, very interesting.
Now, they didn't come out and say that it was their drones spotted over Langley Air Force Base in Virginia last December, but it is worth noting that the facility they launched their drones from was less than 2 miles away from Langley Air Force Base.
So that's interesting, like 2-mile pre-programmed flights. Like, let's see if we can program a drone to leave here where we're launching it and go to a certain destination 2 miles away.
And now there have been countless sightings of unusual drones operating in the airspace over New Jersey and the surrounding area. And that just so happens to largely coincide with the announced and established testing corridor for advanced drone technologies in the same area run by the same program. And while I have reached out to NASA to see if they will confirm or deny their involvement,
the government's not going to confirm or deny, I don't think, but let's see what he says.
In this recent rash of sightings or previous sightings over Virginia last year, I can say right now, as that Intel guy said in his video yesterday, Occam's razor sure does point to this.
Yeah. So this is a great channel, by the way. It's Sandbox on YouTube. Just search for Sandbox. We'll see if we can't add his video to the description of our video. Cite it. We're using it under fair use. I'd be happy to help promote his channel. Guy does great stuff, and he's got a lot of interesting videos. So let's get back to the live chat. Yeah, we have 1 second here. Let me, we got, are we down to 3 more? I think Jimmy Chaichowski. While I don't always agree with your thoughts on everything on this topic, your research and deep dives are legendary. Thank you so much for your kindness, generosity, and support. Jimmy Chaichowski, we need 2 more. We've got Cameron Diaz with a kind and generous $20 super chat who just says Merry Christmas. Longtime show supporter, Christina Diaz. Thank you for your comments and your kindness, generosity, and support. And Stuff and Things hitting the goal for us. You want recognition from the king for a paltry 40 memberships. Have you no shame? We're going to do something special for Fat Chick Thriller. I don't think anybody's ever bought. Oh, look at that. Stuff and Things with a kind and generous $100 super chat says, how's this for zeros, bish? Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. I could go tell my son that we can eat some food this week. Thank you very much. He'll be happy to hear that there will be no moratorium on the snacks. Does anybody but got kids and a wife that is overcompensating for maybe, I don't know, my wife and I both grew up kind of poor, right? Not like starving poor or like homeless poor, but, just working class, struggling family. And I think she overcompensates for her childhood, and I think I do too for mine. My kids got it's ridiculous. I never had this kind of variety growing up. You go in the pantry and there's chips and there's not just one kind of chips. There's Doritos and potato chips and cheese curls and 10 other things, pretzels and regular potato chips. we were lucky to get a bag of potato chips for the week when we were a kid, right? And these kids got like 8,000 different snacks in the pantry. Thank you. How's this for Zero's Bish? Thank you very much. Stuffing things. Very, very kind and generous of you. Very kind and generous of all of you. And now we're even past the goal. Gothy Senpai says, this reminds me of the drones in the movie Interstellar. They belong to NASA, I think, too. Yeah, and that one time he found, in the beginning of the movie, he finds an errant a drone from India that was long range and had great batteries, so he wanted to salvage it. Good point. I love that movie, Gothy Senpai. That's a great movie. It makes you think about interstellar travel, which I guess is the point of it, right? Yeah, Mike Dono of Spike says, your kids are grifting you, Steve. God bless the goal. We hit it tonight. And not only did we hit it, but we did better than hit it because Mike Larry gifted 10 memberships, I think, right? Was that 10 or 20, Mike Larry? And Fat Chick Thriller gifted 40 memberships, right? Oh, very generous of Fat Chick Thriller. We'll do something special just for Fat Chick Thriller and Mike Larry for gifting those memberships. We need at least $5,000 a week for snacks, according to my personal lawyer and legal advisor, Nick Ricada. He said there is nothing illegal about coming in his wife. Oh my God. Oh my God. But thanks for putting a smile on my face. Yeah, that Rikita story arc is just crazy. I can't wait to see him go to prison or something. Gula says, you won't get scurvy now. Yeah, we can afford to buy some oranges and avoid the dreaded scurvy, right? At least the Avalon is here. Longtime show supporter says, great work, guys. So I said if we hit the goal, we would do a Q&A. So here's how this works. I will answer any questions from the live chat, whether super chatted or just regular, but please put your comments in all capital letters. I happen to be visually impaired, and I'm telling you, it really does help me identify, like, okay, that's something somebody wants me to share. So just put it in all capital letters. And if you haven't already, now is a very good time for me to remind you to be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share these videos because it really, really does help. It helps tremendously. Let me see. I'm trying to find a good praise the cash bumper for you guys, for you kind and generous. I didn't even ask for gifted memberships. Usually we do. We try to do the gifted memberships. But we want to thank Fat Chick Thriller. How generous. 40 gifted memberships. That's $200 US, friends. Very, very kind and generous of Fat Chick Thriller. And Mike Larry with 10 gifted memberships. We got 50 gifted memberships tonight. I didn't even ask for them. I have an attitude of gratitude. I am so blessed by you guys. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. It is much, much appreciated, especially you, Fat Chick Thriller, and especially you, Mike Larry, the MVP, usually of gifted memberships. Mike Larry, you got stomped tonight by Fat Chick Thriller, though. But thank you for all the Buy Me a Coffees and the PayPal pledges. Thank you all very much. And we thank you for the gifted memberships. Fat Chick Thriller, very generous of you. And Mike Larry.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. The blue chickens command you to praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
LM, oh, you're reminding me of my starving artist days. LM says, I lived off dry rice for 4 years when I started living on my own. Don't worry, they will be fine now for a week at least. Yeah. Detective Bong Hits is here. What a great user ID. Detective Bong Hits. Very nice to catch you live, Steve. Yeah, well, thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. And glad that you could catch us live, too. And when you know it, there's always something that I forget to do before the show. So I hope everybody enjoyed our ad-free experience for the live show. I forgot to monetize the stream, but you guys made up for it. It's no big deal because of all you kind and generous benefactors, because the ad revenue is really pennies, like I might have missed $2 or something, but all you guys being so generous with the super chats, but really makes up for it. I'll turn it on now. So pardon me if you suddenly get an ad to, deal with. I apologize. We like to keep our pennies rolling in here, right? Dono of Spite, would you review my UFO clips if I send them to you? I filmed them myself. Yes, we routinely do that for people, but they can't be total garbage. So don't send me flapping birds or balloons, or if it's obvious that it's something stupid like that, I really don't want to waste showtime for that. Maybe we'll do a whole show of people sending me stupid shit they claim is alien motherships, though, because I get a lot of that. I have a guy that sends me flapping birds all the time, and he claims it's alien motherships high in the atmosphere or something. And I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. But I'll do that, Dono of Spite. Runman85 says, now is a good time to bless the cash tax-free. And look at that. Gula gifted 1 True Seekers membership. Very, very kind and generous of you. And I'm telling you, friends, if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button, because if you're in the live chat and you are a subscriber, but not yet a channel member, YouTube somehow goes through the people in the live chat, finds people who are subscribers but not yet channel members, and then randomly distributes these gifted memberships. And when kind and generous people like Gula gift a True Seekers membership, then one of you members of the live chat get that gifted membership. Not a Chinese guy. What a great user. I am definitely not a Chinese guy. Became a Praise the Cash member. Praise the cash, friends. I appreciate it. Linda Moore says, can you elaborate on your visual impairment? Do glasses or contacts make things look normal? Well, I have a special, these glasses are sort of just my modified way of dealing with. I have something called third nerve palsy, which is generally what people would call a lazy eye. You ever see somebody that only one eye's looking at you and then the other eye's sort of going off on its own? That's what I have, and it's a result of a brain aneurysm. I had a life-threatening brain aneurysm. I was in the hospital for months. I had 4 brain surgeries, and the aneurysm was right behind one of my eyes, and it destroyed parts of the nerve that move the eye. This results in something called third nerve palsy or third nerve paralysis. And so mostly the glasses are there for cosmetic reasons, because I am very self-conscious about that wonky eye, especially when I'm having like a guest and I'm talking to somebody. You never know. And it comes and goes with me. Sometimes it will look mostly normal. But then sometimes, especially when my blood pressure is high or my adrenaline levels high, that one eye just goes wonky. So most of the glasses is for just cosmetic reasons. So I don't have to worry about that wonky eye. But there is sort of a little modifications that I do to the one side of the glasses, which compensates for the weaker eye. It's a little lens in there, and this enables me to read a little bit better on the screen and things like that. If not for that, I would have a lot of trouble. Operation Shutdown. Will we get David Bach's Dills of Reels reveal before the end of the year? Yeah, that's one of my goals, is to get that out. Everybody's asking me for where's the David Wilcock? Yeah. Archduke Instinct says, David Wilcock's totally legitimate company Stavati had a Black Friday sale for all sorts of ammunition. Yeah, I know. We're the ones who first reported and covered that on YouTube. And now suddenly there's reports of loose dirty bomb. He's guilty. Guilty. Allegedly. Mr. Slaughter says, suffer, Mike. People making fun of Mike Larry. And, you know, I'm Polish. My dad loves his roll mops. Yeah. Suffer monetization revenue. Yeah, I only lost $1 or $2, so I'm not really worried about it. Thin Lizzie Borden says, my grandma is Polish and whispers like Cambion. My grandma is Polish as well. I'm half Polish and half Irish, which means it's a dangerous combination, friends. Because if you're half Irish, that means you're a drunk. And if you're a Polak or Polish, that means you're stupid. So my mom always said that I was half drunk and half stupid, right? Are you ever going to look into Edge of Wonder? Yes, their new show, Metaphysical, is so wacky. Yeah, we're going to start felting those guys, I promise you. And we'll be back with a Wacky World of Wilcock episode this week. Dono of Spite says, okay, I'll check with my friends first to make sure. Sandra McDonald says, just waiting for the next time Stephen riffs on how not a penny of donation goes on household bills. Yeah, well, you know, that may change because things are picking up, right? Like a long time ago, I mentioned that my kid wanted a PlayStation for Christmas, and some other asshole show host went around going, oh, he's grifting for super chats to buy his kids expensive gifts. Who cares if I am? It's my it's my money, right? But by and large and in general, none of the money from the show pays my household expenses here, my car insurance, my rent, mortgage, bills, insurance, none of that. I'm very blessed to have multiple income sources, which is something I highly advise people. People that just have one paycheck, you have one income source. I don't know. I learned a long time ago it's best to have multiple income sources, even if it's one major job and then a side hustle. It's always good to have multiple income sources so that if you need extra money, you can get it, you can find it, or you can wait and wait and wait if you're suffering through one paycheck a week for some corporate job. I used to have one of those, hated it. Stephen, have you ever heard of the garage punk band Charlie Murder? I think you'd like them. My favorite song is I Vote for Chaos. No, but I'll check it out. Charlie Murder. It sounds like a Charlie Manson reference, right? Dono of Spite says, okay, I'll send you screenshots so you can judge them right away. Yeah, email truthseekershow@gmail.com. That's how you get to me with things like videos. And if they're too big to email, you just put them in a Google Drive and send me the links. $5 chat to Snake Fat Chick Thriller and let you know he gifted 20 and I gifted 20. Suffer, fat chick. Stuff and Things, did you give 22? I apologize. Thank you very much, all of you, for your kindness, generosity, and support. What a generous crowd, right? Kevin Alt says Christmas show. I'll do it. I will do it. It'll have to be 9 p.m. would be good. I want to have either Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. Probably Christmas Day I'll do a show. Sean Rhodes says, I could tell you're from Pennsylvania from your accent. Yeah, born and bred in Philadelphia. And I always tell people when they ask where I'm from, I say Philadelphia. And if I have to be more specific, I always say, have you ever seen the movie Rocky? I grew up right in the neighborhood with Mixed Gym and that pet store that are in the Rocky movies. Very, very close to there anyway. And so everybody has seen Rocky and knows what that neighborhood is. That's where I grew up. Joe Blow Hobo says, please take a look at the Bigfoot grifter, Thinker Thunder. He pawns off videos of people jumping around naked outside his Dogman videos. Lazy Cowboy does good debunking work on him. I will check it out. And it's best to email me those requests because sometimes I try to make a note of it, a mental note, and I never get back to it. Kevin Alt says Grift Month. Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. I think Grift Month is going to be in April. Seems like a good idea. And for those unaware, I'm going to be doing something here called Grift Month, which basically means that for a month, I'm going to become a UFO and alien grifter. I've got all kinds of videos that I've been working on that are like aliens, UFOs, Bigfoot sightings, Dogman sighting, reptilian humanoid sightings, and a bunch of other stuff. And so for a full month, we're just going to put the videos out like a clickbaiter, like mysterious alien sighting, mysterious flying saucer, or, this can't be human technology, and show a video of a flying saucer. And so as a social experiment, of course, we're going to become grifters for a month. And then we're going to track how much money I make as a grifter. And then we're going to share with people at the end of the experiment, here's how I made each of these videos. For those unaware, for a long time, not that long, well, long enough, I did professional magic shows. So I think I can make some good videos, fake videos of aliens and UFOs and all manner of stuff like that. And we're going to grift for the whole month of April. Which is good because it gives me a few more months. I got, 5 or 6 of these videos so far, but I want to have at least one a day. So we need 30 of them or something like that. It'd be great if we could have 2 a day and I could post 2 a day. And then we're going to try to make some of these videos go viral with clickbait, sensationalized titles. We're going to have no rules. If the grifters get away with it, I feel like I should be able to do this. I should be able to grift for 1 month, but then be honest and say it was a grift, okay? And I think that we could get our entire show's usual budget for the entire year in 1 month of grifting. But then I'm going to be honest, show everybody how I made the fake videos, and all the material, and sort of talk about that as a social experiment. Like, look how much money we made just faking shit on the internet. And I think that's kind of valuable, right? So besides, I always wanted to see, like, could I be a better grifter than the grifters I cover? I think so. They're dumb as shit, these guys. They're so stupid. They're easy to catch, right? Do you have any sci-fi fantasy book recommendations or book recommendations in general? Well, a book that I'm reading again that I loved when I was in high school. I read a book, Flowers for Algernon, or Algernon, and I'm just rereading that again. I think there was two versions of it. One was a short story and one was a book. Let me see on Amazon. I think I have the book version, and that's sort of science fiction, and it's the story of a well, I almost used the R word. I would get in trouble. Yeah, it's called Flowers for Algernon, and you can get it for like $12 on eBay, or not on eBay, on Amazon. It's by Daniel Keyes. I would highly recommend that book because it's a very compelling and sad story about a gentleman who is mentally deficient, or what people would use the R word. And they did an experiment on him, and he became super, super intelligent, like smarter than the doctors and scientists that did the experiment on him. But then, well, I don't want to ruin it for you. Let's just say it that way. So he becomes super intelligent, but then something goes wrong. And so, yeah. Aki Kama says, what is the best Christmas gift you got your kids this year? Well, I don't know about the best. Maybe, I don't know. My son Xavier, he's, 8. Great. He wanted PlayStation VR, so he doesn't know it yet, but we got him that. My son Zachary, who is 12 and nonverbal autistic, is very, very difficult because he doesn't really like generally regular toys. Like, he won't play with like Batman dolls or whatever. He likes stuffed animals a little bit. And he's very hard to shop for. We usually get him some kind of sensory thing, like light projectors he likes, or star projectors, things like that. Maybe this year we're getting him a swing for his room. One of those big kid swings. So I think that covers it. Yes. Izzy snoozing with a great comment. Izzy snoozing says, this reminds me so much of the hysteria caused when Orson Welles broadcast The War of the Worlds radio broadcast back in the 30s. Yeah, when he did that, people, for those unaware, Orson Welles did like a Halloween broadcast, and they made it seem like it was real news reports that there was a Martian invasion taking place, and people lost their goddamn minds. People packed up their kids, their house, headed for the hills. People shot at water towers thinking they were alien Martian spaceships. It's a study into mass hysteria right there. Operation Shutdown says third phase of fake style. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Archduke Instinct says you got to grift those grifters. Kevin Alt says, going to show receipts. Yeah, I'm going to tell everybody exactly how much money I made grifting. I'm just worried that I'll like the money so much, I'll just give up Truth Seekers and we'll just do, we'll just start a new grifting channel, right? Have you ever played D&D? And if so, what's your favorite class? Long time ago, I did. I think D&D was sort of dying out when I was becoming a teenager, because by then, video games of Dungeons and Dragons started coming. Like the old SSL adventures. Or was it SSI? I'm talking about things like Secret of the Silver Blades and the Radiant Pool. So I did have a group of dork, nerdy friends from BBS, pre-internet, and we would get together and play D&D on paper with the dice and stuff, but very, very rarely. But I was always a magic user, or wizard, I guess. And then once I was a dark elf magic user, I guess. All right, so questions or comments for me, put them in all capital letters. I have 100% provable proof the drones are piloted by GMO micro dogmen controlled by the android Grace. Says Archaic Revival. Yeah, likely story. Don't touch me, I'm crazy. Grift idea. LED lights came from Roswell. Good idea. Yeah. Yeah. Fat chick thriller with a kind and generous. Steve, can we watch some BS martial arts videos that y'all discussed on Kino Casino? That would be Kino. For you, I'll do it. Did you really buy 40? Wow, you bought 40 gifted memberships. I'm going to have to do that. One of the grifts should be suing a Ouija board to communicate with Bob Lazar from the great beyond and ignore anyone who points out he's still alive and call him psyops. Yes. Yes. You know, one of the most disturbing things that I've looked into is there's a bunch of fake mediums making huge amounts of money claiming that they're communicating with like Michael Jackson or Prince, for example. And I just got to tell you, like, if I had a famous dead relative, you know, like what if Michael Jackson's your uncle or your brother or your cousin or your best friend or whatever, and this asshole's on the internet making hundreds of thousands of dollars pretending to be talking to Michael Jackson, I'd want to beat his ass. You know, not that I advocate violence, but it's just maddening to me that somebody would grift off of the tragic death of a superstar. One of your grifts should be suing. Okay, we got that one. Thank you for your kindness, RP. We appreciate you. Thanks for appreciating us, and praise the cash. Phasius says, True Seekers, the drones are not just in New Jersey. I'm in Western Massachusetts, and I watch them every night from 5:30 to about 8. They are gone. Low-flying green and red light ones and white orbs way higher up. Well, yeah, but this is what we were talking about earlier, Phasius. I'm not trying to take away from your experience, but that doesn't mean that those events are at all connected. It's two separate events. Maybe there's drones where you are too, but We Are Steven says the mass hysteria wasn't that crazy as has been portrayed with the radio show. Yeah, yeah, and Akikama says the Polish dumb jokes are because the intellectuals were round up and genocided. Yeah, and not only that, but you know, part of the stereotype that Polish people were dumb and where all that came from is that a lot of Polish immigrants came to the United States and they were farm people. They were simple farm people, many of them. And so like, you know, a normal person where their shoes wore out, they would just get a new pair of shoes, and Polish people would be like patching their shoes, and just it was weird cultural differences like that I think led to the stereotype. Some of the smartest people I know are Polish, so I got 3 donos, says Fat Chick Thriller. Did I miss some more? We're getting to those. Winner Wayne J says, Steve, it's 10 leaf bucks, not much, but I want you and everyone watching to have a Merry Christmas. Very kind of you. Thank you, Winner Walfu. Or is that Wafu? Walfu. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. Dono of Spite, do you speak Polish? A little bit. Very poorly, though. Honestly, when my father was like first generation immigrant, right? Like, and when he was growing up, he was teased because of his accent and because he couldn't speak English very well. So he married my mother, who was totally English-speaking, Americanized woman, and he wanted us to be normal American kids. So he kind of discouraged people from speaking Polish in our home and around him. But my grandparents, his parents, didn't speak English almost at all. So I had to learn some Polish just to communicate with them. And I'm sure I could still curse up a storm in Polish, but everything else, yeah, not so much, right? And I'm very sorry to Fat Chick Thriller for not seeing those gifted memberships somehow. I don't know how that is. Oh, I know how it is because I wasn't monitoring the live chat, and then we ended up going to like the total screen for the super chats, and it doesn't put the gifted memberships on there. So I apologize. I'm going to have to come up with a better system, and hopefully this goddamn software company will star those super chats and gifted memberships in a separate column like every other software does. Somehow this one doesn't do that. It used to be much easier because StreamYard would put all the money into a separate column and you'd never miss one, right? But in this case, it doesn't do that, so you have to monitor the live chat. And you know how it is. Like I just looked in the live chat earlier. I couldn't believe how fast the live chat was scrolling by. This is new for us. You know, we are expanding our audience, right? Okay, so we want to thank North as well for a kind and generous $100 PayPal pledge. It's very, very generous of North, sort of the MVP of PayPal pledges. For those unaware, we do encourage if you're going to send a big chunk of money, like $100, to do it on PayPal because the YouTube takes 30% and PayPal takes just a couple percent. So, but we appreciate all of you. For those unaware, we read all of the Buy Me a Coffees, we read all of the PayPal pledges, and we read all of the super chats. I'm hopeful we'll always be able to do that, but somebody's telling me you won't be able to keep up with it soon, Stephen. And I'm not going to like that day because I like to recognize the support we're given. And North says, thank you for keeping it semi-respectful. I have grown to love Billy. He does have a good heart and helps a hell of a lot of people. I'll make sure he doesn't go after you or anything. Just help him out if possible. I understand completely your position, but whatever you can do to not totally Corey Good his ass. So there's a Billy Carson fan that wanted me to just be respectful with the Billy Carson show. Look, that guy said I suck presidents' dicks, man, and he doxed me to 1 million subscribers. So I think I was fairly kind to him, given the situation, right? You know, here we go. Will you look into busting the numerous grifts of Darkside Phil, such as the various appliances that totally died on him, and he always needed exactly $1,000 to fix them? Send me some links in my email box. I will look into it. I think the Kino Boys would love it if I could get some receipts and look into that. They did an Always Sunny episode about that book, Stephen. Oh, that's interesting. You know, I've never watched that whole show, but every clip that I've watched has been pretty great. And I think I want to binge watch that. Right now, I'm wearing a Wildlings shirt. My wife got this. It has my children's name on it. It was a Father's Day gift. I'm so late to the party, but I just started watching the Game of Thrones prequel. We just got HBO. We're like moving up in the world or something. Did you see Ross Coulthard mention Cliff High in the December 3rd prediction? All because Trump went on Rogan. That's why we're invaded, says Mr. N. Yeah, Ross Coulthard's one of my favorite grifty scumbags. He is such a grifter. Has there ever been something in relation to aliens or crypto where you went, maybe there is something here, or felt it wasn't a grift? Yeah, I mean, for those unaware, the lazy ass gamer, I get a lot of emails, and sometimes most of the time I read them. Sometimes I reply. And I've talked to some interesting people that claim that they had contact with aliens and they seem very sincere and they weren't grifting off of it. They weren't like trying to make money or selling a book. Those are the people that I tend to believe. And I go, that's a pretty interesting story. And some of them have various levels of what you could call evidence to support their story. But most of them, when it comes to experiencers, that's somebody who's experienced alien spacecraft or aliens or alien abduction, they usually just have their story, right? Ring it up, North W, says Fat Chick Thriller. Lunar Sparkles is here. Yeah. Phil has never, ever played WWE Champions, okay? Snort. And if he did, the account was totally sold. Oh, yeah. And I also want to ask, everybody loves these. Kino does the show, and then Andy Worski just plays games afterwards, and people stick around for hours to just watch him play games. If I did a gaming thing after the main show, would you stick around and watch it? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Fat Chick Thriller says, "Sorry, Steve. I believe Billy. Prove me wrong." Well, there's a 5-hour stream of evidence, Fat Chick Thriller, that he's not being honest with his fake ass sources, right? Billy Carson can have conversations on the phone with his billionaire friends. That deserves all of our respect. You're right. You're right, AZ. He's got billionaire friends, man. We should just respect him for that, right? Oh, Troll says, "I've never seen a UFO, but I did see a ghost." Well, that's interesting. Yeah, there's this guy that Kino has. Sometimes I think that's a ghost hunter. I just saw P reposted him. I want to get him on my show and grill him. We're going to grill him. Don't turn into Feltsky Fu KH, the gaming stream. Yeah. Would you watch if I did gaming after the main show, though, for a couple hours? Got a lot of games I'd like to play and catch up on, and I don't really get to. And by the way, I just want to take a moment to thank Spooky. For those unaware, Spooky's a friend of the show, a great producer, graphic artist, video editor, and I'm a one-man army here most of the time, but sometimes I can't do everything. So I told Spooky that I'd like to sort of rebrand the show and do better animated backgrounds and things. This one I made, but then we have one from Spooky that Spooky made. We'll take that banner down. And this is what we'd like to do for a lot of this stuff going forward. And Spooky's going to be helping me, so we should have a little better and more interesting production going forward. And I appreciate Spooky's help. It took me forever to make the one that I made, and I was thinking, man, making 10 of these is going to kill me. This one took me all night. Somehow, I was having a lot of trouble with my video editor. I don't know. Things happen. So questions or comments for me, please put them on the live. Put them in all capital letters. RP says, "No, we don't watch Worski's gaming stream. We just fell asleep and couldn't turn the show off." Suffer, Worski. Nobody's watching your shit video game shit. Yeah. What are some games you want to play? I'm so behind in games, man. I'd like to play Red Dead Redemption 2. I'd like to play the Jedi Fallen Order or whatever, the newest Star Wars games on PS5. But I have to look into how do I capture from the PS5, or do I just play them on PC? I have to look into actually sharing the gaming stream. Have you ever heard of Francis E. Deck or Terry Davis, the one who made an operating system that supposedly could talk to God? I have heard of Terry Davis. I have a background in computer science, and that's a weird story because there's no way that one guy should have been able to program all of what he did. And it seems like he did it over years and years. Like the guy spent a decade or two, I don't know, building his own custom operating system. And to this day, people are still fascinated by him, his story, and his code. His code is still being studied by coders like me. He did some interesting stuff with compression algorithms to make that thing tiny, right? Very, very interesting story, Lazy Ass Gamer. Maybe we'll cover that story because it is a strange story. And we have this series called Strange Stories, right? So questions or comments for me? Yeah, exactly. Suffer, Worski Gaming. Yeah. Look, I love the Kino Casino show, but it's obvious who is the talent in that duo, right? And I don't even have to say it. Suffer Worski, right? He's lucky, man. He got a great gig, right? All he has to do is he's like he just has to sit next to the talent and laugh a lot, right? Contribute a little bit. No, I like those guys both. I like the Kino show, but I would never sit and watch somebody gaming unless I was watching a walkthrough and I was stuck on a game. That's the only exception. But If you would have told me 10 or 20 years ago that there'd be a whole industry of people making money for people watching them playing a game, I would never believe it. Like, people are just going to watch. Why don't you just play the game yourself? That's stupid. But here we are, and there's Twitch, right? And there's Kick and so many others, right? There's people making millions of dollars a year just playing video games. God bless them, you know? Can we hit the capture card goal? Thanks, sweet Papa Stovepipe. Maybe we'll do that for another. We'll do that for another. Play VR games. Yeah, maybe. I'm really thinking. I got to tell you, I'm a H. What up? I'm a bitter, angry father sometimes because, except for the phone shitty one that you get and you put your phone in, I don't have a VR system. I never have, except for that shitty one that sucks. Nobody wants to play VR games on their phone. They're shit. So I wanted to get a VR Quest, but I never did. And then my son wanted a VR Quest, but my wife would rather he do the PlayStation VR because it's less internet connected. She's worried about the predators online. So we got my son the VR for PlayStation 5, and I still don't have a VR system. So my 8-year-old is now more technologically advanced as far as technical toys than me. I'm pretty sure he's got a better gaming PC than me too, right? And a PlayStation 5. I don't have any of those things. But can't afford 2 of everything. I would rather he have them. I'm one of those people that means to do something, like I'll buy, like I once bought an Xbox 360. I didn't play it very much. That was the last console that I bought for myself way back in the day. Didn't play it very much. Eventually I gave it to my son, who's 8. And that's like his backup. If he's bored of the PlayStation games, he goes through. And since the Xbox 360 games are cheap, I get him some on eBay or Amazon. But I think when you buy video games or video game systems, you're not really buying the game. You think you're buying yourself the time to play them. And I'm always busy working on the show or video editing or graphics for the show or booking guests for the show or doing research for the show. To sit and play video games for 5 hours is just not something I do. But I'm trying to do something for more downtime, right? Drum kit for Junior. Well, actually, I've already given him a couple of electronic keyboards, and he's taking violin lessons. I sure as hell don't want to give him a drum kit. He makes enough noise without a drum kit. Yeah. Have I ever wrote a compiler, Steve? Sweet Papa Stovepipe. I've never written a compiler, but I've used compilers, C compiler. I program in Python a little bit, and I program Arduino microcontrollers for some of my weird projects. I'm always interested in robotics and microcontrollers. So I've used compilers, but I haven't written a compiler. That's a whole different ballgame. You got to be a super genius nerd to write the compiler. I use other people's compiler. Dono of Spite says, no, it's friendly competition, not drama. I got to say, Dono of Spite, when a mutual viewer of ours connected us, and I always say this, I get all these you shoulds. People are always telling me, you should go on this show. You should go on this show. I'm not going to try to book myself on a show with show hosts I don't know, but this person did that, and I checked out their show, and the first thing I saw was all the crazy costumes, and it was so funny. I was like, hell yeah, sign me up. Love those guys, and they've been very kind to me, so I wish them the best of success, and I've learned a lot from them. The Grimace would not agree. PPP for prison. What? Suffaworski? Challenge Worski to a boxing match. I may do that, says Louis Camus. PPP is one of the funniest guys on the internet. I agree with that. I struggle myself because I know people want to have a good time, and one of the great ways you can do that is make sure people laugh. But sometimes we cover, like tonight, this drone thing's not very funny, right? You try to make it funny and entertaining, but P is like an expert at taking anything and making it funny. On the last appearance I did on their show, I gave them a video of me grifting, like begging as a televangelist. I did a face swap, and P went off for like 20 minutes. They were like 85 gifted memberships or 100 behind in the goal, and he just for 10 minutes acted like a preacher. I was cracking up. I was crying laughing on their show. He is very, very talented. And I always really respect and admire people that are much better at things than me. That dude's worlds above me as far as being funny. I try, but holy shit. PPP can barely work a toaster, though. Well, maybe that's why he needs Andy, right? He needs Andy to run the. Yeah, Ed McMahon from Johnny Carson. That's Worski, yeah. But P needs him to do the technical side of things, right? Keno Casino gets paid for felting Ralph. You gotta love it, right? The best part of the Worski gaming stream is shitting on him and making him watch garbage instead. That's pretty funny. Oh, and I promised Fat Chick Thriller that I would do something. So let's keep a promise. 40 gifted memberships. I got to do whatever they want. So I'm just gonna put in fake kung fu, fake chi master. Kung Fu. We were talking about this phenomenon. This is very entertaining. You could see some fake masters getting destroyed. You know, these people that think they're like, oh, this is good. So some of these fake, do you ever see these fake chi people? They get the shit beat out of them. It's so funny. So we'll do that. I'll share this tab 1 second. This is a transformative work. We're educating the public, and yeah, let's do it. Nope, let's do it the other way here. All right. So some of these people claim that they can just knock people over with chi energy, which is basically life force energy in Chinese culture. But it's all a grift and it's not real. And when you see people that appear to be able to do it, they're doing it with students that, in my opinion, are all just playing along. So this is a no-touch master who challenged a martial artist. And what's going to happen is hysterical. So this is for Fat Chick Thriller. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. We'll see what happens when a real martial artist goes up against one of these fake chi masters. Oh, he's forming an energy ball. Oh, there's your chi, bitch! Right in the face. Come on, get your energy ball. You ready? He's gonna punch him in the face again. Here's your chi, bitch!
Все, нормально.
Oh no! He got wrecked! He got destroyed! He got totally wrecked. Let's watch it again. We gotta edit this up. We gotta make a video about this. Great chi. There's his chi ball. They did pretty good there in the beginning. It's worse for this dude though. Ooh, damn, man, that was a shot. That was a shot to the face, boy. Look at that. So these fake chi guys, you know, they can't go against a real fighter. They'll get destroyed like this. Look at this. You're gonna get another good shot in. Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! I'm surprised he didn't get knocked out. That's no touch. We'll do one more for Fat Chick Thriller, since Fat Chick Thriller is so kind and generous, right? How about Wing Chun versus MMA? No, I like the fake chi guys that claim they can knock people over. Martial artists get whooped. I'm looking at some of these. All right, here's this one. The most BS martial artists ever. Fake kung fu, fake chi, fake karate breakdown. This will be good. 1 second, friends. Let me share my screen again. And we should do a whole show on this because it's just so ridiculous. These guys just get destroyed when they're not doing it with their students, and their students play along. Like you'll see the guy like, whoo, and then the guy falls over in front of them. It's all acting. It's all they're playing along, or maybe they're sort of getting hypnotized into playing along by the charismatic teacher who convinces them they have superpowers. Not really. 1 second. This one's good.
This is what happens when you bring an animal style of kung fu to Russia and it has vodka. Look at these stiff animal-like moves. He's like a combination of snake and mantis. All right. Oh, look at that. Now it's tiger, I assume. Vodka tiger. What the fuck is that? Okay. Another demonstration of this move. Wow. What are you using? Your forearm?
My.
All right. So sticking with the Russian theme, we have a Russian guy here. He's getting warmed up. What is he going to teach? Let's see. Oh, Russian dance fighting. Whoa, Russian step dancing. Look at this. I am going to be able to destroy people with the step dance moves. Now it's Russian drunken boxing. Again, the point of Kung Fu in drunken boxing, for those of you who don't know, you're not actually drunk. You're faking the looseness of drunk people. But I think Russians took it literally and they're actually drunk in this. You're not supposed to actually drink vodka when you fight, okay? This.
Oh no.
Okay, people say I pick on Russians too much, so look at this Chinese bullshit, or Singaporean or Vietnamese bullshit. This is some Asian bullshit. He's gonna transfer chi to the guy with glasses, alright? Let's see if he can do it. And here we go. Yeah, look at that bullshit right there. And now, oh wow, look at that bullshit. The guy on the right's cracking up like, oh yeah, I know I paid a lot of money. Ooh, fly like a little rag doll. Fly like a little rag doll again.
This is not how real fight works.
Look at him, he's just cracking up. He's like, oh yeah, I'm a good actor right here. And now, our drunken vodka guy is back. Look at him, showing off his snake mantis moves. If I'm fighting a kid, I guess that would work.
Oh, come on.
Your arms, of course, serve as nothing more than just distractions. You distract them with these flailing mantis arms.
Here's a fake master. Here's a fake master caught on national television. Oops. Wait a second. Here we go.
He's got some chi. Look at him. Obviously, that's fake concrete.
To be honest, I actually felt these bricks. These are real bricks. I mean, there's no joke.
Oh, the reporter just accidentally revealed his secret. Oh.
Yeah, he goes and cuts through 3/4 of the fucking brick before he attempts to break it with his chi energy, right? It's just so stupid. We need Steve to play XCOM. Maybe. You mean the retro game? What is the one grifter you have been so incredibly angry at? Like one that just pisses you off to no end? Probably Wilcock. I mean, he did tell everybody that I did all these terrible things that I never did, right? I have a MetaQuest 35. I recommend it. It's awesome. Yeah, I'm looking into those. I want to buy one for myself. I think if my kid can have all of these wonderful techno toys, I should too. And then we have Salt Mango with kind of generous $5. I think you're awesome, Steve. Love your content and nice shirt. Yeah, it was a gift from my wife. I just watch people game now. Well, some people like that. If you're too lazy to play the game like me, but you want to see what happens in it and the cutscenes, maybe it's a good thing. When are we getting an Area 51 for PS2 live stream? That's what I was thinking. I'll do retro games, right? And then it ties into the show. Worski is one of the original YouTubers, and he invented a lot of stuff like super chats and debates. Well, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Did he really? Oh yeah, I guess so. All right, I'll have to take your word for it. I know he goes back a long way on the internet, much longer than me. McDojo Life had a banger today, a fat hillbilly pulling out nunchucks while fishing. I saw that. Yeah, like a big fat guy with nunchucks in his back pocket. It's so stupid. It's just so stupid. I'm going to put my hands on you, bitch. Yeah, absolutely. And there's another kind and generous $5 super chat. Thank you for your kindness. I got a video for you. It's short. Love the show. Peace and love you and your family. God bless. Says Test Leads. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. 'Tis the season to be broke, so I appreciate every single one of you. It really does help. Worski is okay. You said it a bunch of times. I shared it. Stop saying. Worski's notable invention: streaming, saying thoughts, the N-word, racism on the internet. Yeah, I don't know. Thoughts on CE4 research? I think it's largely self-hypnosis bullshit. Joe Jordan, not very familiar. You can feel free to send me links. That's genius. I'm down for Area 51 stream. Yeah, me too. Me too. Bill Ronald, well, that's what replays are for, says, damn, I slept through. I missed the live. Suffer. Cave Teeth says, thoughts on Andy Worski inventing UFO grifting? I think UFO grifting has been around since the 50s, long before he was born, but we thank you for your kindness. Look up George Tillman. Is that another fake? Yeah, I think that's another fake. George Tillman fake. Fake Chi guy or something? Yeah. George Dillman Bushido, no touch KO, debunked by National Geographic. All right, we'll do that, and then we're going to get out of here. This is a transformative work. We're critiquing the video that we're sharing, and we are educating the public about these fake Chi masters. National Geographic debunked this guy. This is one of the biggest grifters in this space, I believe.
It flows throughout the body. Without it, you don't function. And it's a radio wave.
Science can't find Chi. It doesn't exist as far as science can tell.
Without a doubt, George Dillman is a force to be reckoned with. He's a 9th degree black belt who has taught everyone from Muhammad Ali to Bruce Lee. And he's able to drop just about anyone using applications of pressure to certain points along the body.
Can't take it there. He's probably weak right here. You okay? This way at the same time. Pressure point knockouts are the easiest way to put a person down.
No, I think a gun would be the easiest way to put a person down, but okay, we'll entertain.
I can put the largest person that you can find in the world, and I've done this. With that finger, I can put him on the floor. It's a guy that's a big guy.
I was just wondering, does he put it in his ass? Where does he put the finger? That's gross.
Man on the street.
But that's just the beginning. Dillman claims to have adapted this technique to where he can knock a person out without having to touch them.
Use chi energy out of this hand, and we're going to affect up on the head at the third eye. The snap couple. Back.
Oh, come on. That's so fake, it's ridiculous, but okay.
There we go.
All of these corrupt.
Would anybody else like to see this guy fight like Chuck Liddell or a real MMA fighter? I would pay money to see that.
Techniques are made possible by manipulating chi.
He makes a chi ball. He'll get the radio frequency going between the hands, and if you get up and feel, it's actually hotter inside that ball. I've seen him already knock people over with it. He throws the chi in such a way that when he catches it, it knocks him backwards.
For Dillman, chi is like electrical circuitry that he can turn on or off with a simple, well-placed punch, or even just a tap.
We enter the chi into pressure points that both accept chi or give off chi.
I got your chi right here, buddy. Yeah.
I use ones to give off chi, put it into ones that accept chi. We, in essence, turn their light switches down. It kicks out their circuit breaker panel in the back.
Kicks out their circuit breaker? What does that even mean?
Pressure points can be dangerous. I've flatlined several people.
He's flatlined people. He killed people with
They
this
come
shit.
to see Dillman's remarkable ability to move walls of people from 10 feet away when they can't even see him by channeling his chi at them and interrupting their auras.
Oh, come on. Interrupting their auras. It's just group dynamics. People do what they are expected to do.
I locked with their aura, and I moved the line. I shouldn't tell you this, but I played with people in Starbucks, and I just stood there, and I moved the line. And they all moved, and they all looked back to me at the same time. They went like this, and I looked back too, like it was happening to me. I looked, because I didn't want them to know I did this, right?
But what really draws the audience's attention is Dillman's no-touch knockout, a karate move that could theoretically revolutionize combat as we know it, except that it can take years to learn. Essentially, he claims to be able to knock anyone out without touching any part of their body by just throwing a giant chi whammy at them.
Sometimes it drains me. I can get that way within a second or two if I throw the chi out too fast.
Get back.
After seeing so many demonstrations,
Yeah,
so many...
and we're going to look at what happens when somebody that's not one of his students or... Listen, in magic, there's something called a stooge, and I hope a bunch of old magicians don't kill me or murder me for sharing this secret, but sometimes when you see a magic show, there's a guy in the audience that's in on the trick. So if you've ever seen a magician like tell somebody in the audience, like, think of a card, and then they do, and he gets it 100% right, and you're like, how did he do it? The guy was in on the trick. These people are in on this shit that he's doing. And oh my God, I found Andy Worski's instant knockout. We're going to share it. Because Suffer Worski, we're all going to see you get knocked the fuck out. Oh, yes.
different techniques, so many different moves, you can't help but start believing.
They're opening up another door in your mind. It's just unbelievable.
I know I have chi
in
energy.
your mind.
You can see it with the half moons. My chi is up now because of the filming. I have half moons in my fingertips now. That means the chi is just coming out.
But is the mysterious energy called chi really what's giving Dillman and his followers such extraordinary powers? Or is it, as skeptics suggest, simply a form of hypnotic suggestion? It's time for a showdown. In one corner, weighing in at no more than 125 pounds, is chemist Luigi Garnaschelli.
Let's see what happens, friends.
He thinks he can stand up to a knockout punch of chi because it doesn't exist.
Uh-oh.
In the other corner, it's 8th degree black belt Leon J., one of George Dillman's top associates and fellow practitioner of the no-touch knockout.
Notice he
This
sends
ought
a
to be
student
interesting.
to do it, not him to do it. Let's see this knockout ball of chi.
In fact, when we did the test on Luigi, he was not ready to believe these things.
Oh, he didn't believe it.
Or maybe was just staying there,
That's why it
seeing
didn't
what
work.
would happen.
Because he didn't believe it. Come on, man. Remember, he's not in on it. All these other students are.
It didn't work.
Dillman thinks he knows what went wrong and has come up with a very interesting explanation.
The skeptic was a totally non-believer. Plus,
oh, he didn't believe it.
I don't know
Oh,
if
it
I should
didn't
say
work.
that on film, but if the guy had his tongue in the wrong position of the mouth, that can also nullify it. Yeah, you can nullify it.
Oh,
You can
your
nullify
tongue.
a lot of things done to you. In fact, you can nullify them if you raise those two big toes. Plus,
What a bunch of non.
if I say I'm going to knock you out, and you raise one toe and push one toe down, can't knock you out. And then if I go to try again, you reverse it.
Oh, come on.
If you keep doing this, I won't knock you out.
There
Plus,
he is, by the way. We're educating the public.
the skeptic was a totally non-believer.
What a fraud.
Non-believer. Plus, and I moved the line. Plus, I've flatlined several people. Plus, I know I have chi energy.
I know I
You can
do.
see it with the half
I know
moons.
I do.
My chi is up now because of the filming. I have half moons in my fingertips now. Plus,
Oh, that's it. That's enough. He could put the largest person in the world that you could find down without touching them. Well, look, we see what happens when these people are not playing along. As soon as people are not playing along, suddenly his powers fail him. I don't think that's a coincidence. I haven't seen this yet, so we're going to do a live react to Andy Worski getting knocked the fuck out. Oh yes, let's do it, friends. Instant knockout, apparently. But listen, I don't blame Worski because I think this guy is a professional boxer that he had to do a boxing match with or something, right? Let's see Worski get knocked out, right? And this is instant knockout. Salt Pappy versus Andy Worski, full fight. I give him credit for just having the balls to go in a ring with a pro boxer. Let's see what happens. This is fair use. It's a transformative work. We're educating the public, friends.
Thank you, Salt.
I want to thank Akikama, who says, look up Worski, Salt Pappy. Worski used chi boxing. Oh, no! He thought he could knock him out with some chi? Is that what happened? I don't think so, right? Suffer, Worski. Ha ha! And we want to thank ET, who gifted 1 True Seekers membership. Again, this is why you got to hit that subscribe button. You could get a free membership if you're a subscriber and you're in the live chat, and a kind and generous person like ET, who's also a Praise the Cash member, gifts a free membership. They get randomly distributed somehow by YouTube to the subscribers in the live chat. So Sneed Dave Williams got a free Praise the Cash membership, and that just gets you access to our member section with some extra goodies. All right, let's see if we can get through this. Wow. So they're pretty good matchup. Look, they both weigh about 180. Worski 1 pound down. This gentleman, Salt Pappy, has the reach advantage by a few inches. That's no joke when it comes to boxing. Salt Pappy has the advantage with age, I think, but they're both about the same weight and same height. Let's see what happens.
28 years old, 5'10", the same height as Andy Worski, who will be at a 2-inch reach disadvantage. We saw Salt Pappy in the back. He has got some skills, but the power edge goes to Andy Worski.
Uh-oh.
Here's our announcer. It's Huss.
Judgment call from the ref. Was Worski so bad that he couldn't continue the fight? I don't know. It's a judgment call, and the ref has to make that call. But I'll give Worski credit for getting in a ring with this in front of all these people. That's balls.
And this kid is unstoppable.
Poor Worski, man. But hey, I have respect for him because I would never do that in front of that many people because you could get knocked the fuck out, right? Good for him, But I do think there was some other challenge boxing match that he did where the other guy didn't show up. So even after this, he tried to do it again, right? Kay says, I'm still trying to figure out Keemstar's income streams. How does he Locale Live make any money? Does he pay Keno as well? None of the numbers add up. I don't really know. I once asked him for a job, believe it or not, because he was trying to get into the UFO space. And he had some guys helping him, and I thought I could do a better job, or, I just needed extra money. So I thought maybe he needs a clips producer. He didn't even reply to my message. So fuck Keemstar. I'm sure he's a very busy guy. I'm still supposed to go to the Keemstar cabin compound or something this summer and make a video with him or something. He said we could do that. I don't know. Let's get some subs to say we love Worski. I agree, Akikama. I agree. That doesn't make me want to bust his balls anymore. I have tremendous respect for him to have the balls to do that. I don't think I would do that. Well, I would with that Randy Kramer guy because I said that I would, but Worski versus Tonka Saw from 2016. Tonka sent in fake blood and paperwork. Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah. Keemstar fucked up. Now you have to A-log him. No, I don't want to get in an internet fight with anybody like Keemstar because he'll just wreck me with a bigger bullhorn. Winter Waifu with the kind and generous gifted membership. Again, friends, hit that subscribe button. You could get a free membership. when kind and generous people like Winner Waifu, Praise the Cash member, gifts a membership, it gets randomly distributed to somebody in the live chat. And this time, the lucky winner was CyberChud 2077. It's a lot like a casino here. When you're a subscriber, you could win a prize. And CyberChud 2077 got a kind and generous free membership gifted to him by Winner Waifu. Waifu. So thank you guys for your kindness, right? Why would Gabe need money? Kino Casino is an influence vector. Yeah, I mean, who do you know? The pause screen. Oh yeah, let me see if I can get a better pause screen. Oh, he's trying to fight back. Oh, there's a good one. There he is going down, right? Oh, there he is going down. Poor Worski. Oh, poor Worski. He's the left that did it. It was that left hook that did it. That just. Oh. Here he comes. Here it comes. Look at this dude. He's just going at him. Oh. And that's when he knew that he fucked up. Here he's going down.
That was that left hand. The left.
Oh. But like I said, I got a lot of respect for him doing that at all. That takes some balls, right? I got his 14-inch Chi PP bish. The Billy Carson went wrong for the Billy Carson debate went wrong for Billy, really wrong. Yeah, we covered that. There's a 5-hour stream of all of his fakery, fraudery, and bullshittery in our live section here, right? I'm not going to get that technical right now. I know you can do it that way as well. Andy taking a nap like an audience naps during one of his gaming streams. Oh, shit. I guess it's too late now, but I was trying to see if this guy I know wanted to come on your stream. He was involved in government's early drone program. Sure. Email me. I'd be interested in talking to him, right? Same with Ralph and Dickers. Those numbers make no sense. I feel like there is a network behind the scenes. Yeah, or they're botting themselves to get views, right? It's okay, Worski. We still love you, says Fat Chick Thriller. Yeah, the guy's got balls for even doing that, right? You gotta love. We napped during Review Tech USA, says Radak. Yeah, and Dong of Spite says love Worski. Yeah. Whoa, Kinos are dead air. Chemos save dead air. Been watching Worski since way back in the day. Yeah, I think he's been an internet personality forever. God bless him. He's an early adopter, right? Winner Wafu says love for Worski. Yeah, no hate here. I respect that he did that, right? Talk more fake aliens. Well, we're at just over 3 hours and 30 minutes. We've done our due diligence, and not only that, but we've done our allotted overtime. Thank you guys so much for helping me hit the goal. Now, I will be back tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'd really prefer to do a stream when the Kino boys aren't doing a stream, because then all you wonderful Kino people come here too. And when they're doing a stream, I get it. That's your home base. You're going to go there. And we stream at the same times. Well, they start at 8:30 and I start at 9 p.m. So I'd like to try to only do streams when they're not, but I can't really do that. I got to keep up the numbers here. So even if we get half the live viewers, you guys in the Kino group of audience members can come back and catch the replay after you're done watching Kino. You should watch the Kino Casino till it gets to the gaming part of the stream with Andy that nobody wants to watch, right? And then just come over here and do the replay. No, I'm just kidding. Watch the whole stream. Dono of Spite says great stream. Well, thank you, and thank you all for your kindness. Very, very kind of all of you. So, my friends, we've done our due diligence. I'll be back tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope you'll be here with us. No place else that I would rather be. So, I think that we have shed some light on the drone mystery. We did some overtime tonight. We've more than done our due diligence, but I'll be back tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I hope you'll be here with me. We're doing a Wilcock review of his latest stream. Wilcock is now so lazy. He was doing weekly streams, but he's now so lazy he's doing them every 2 weeks because, you know, making a bunch of slides of nonsense takes him 2 weeks somehow. And repeating the same shit over. I think he's realizing, and his audience is realizing, he repeats the same shit over and over and over again every week. So who knows, that or the legal problems that he may or may not have, allegedly. For those unaware, like his shady aerospace company was trying to sell people bombs and missiles and shit during Black Friday. And there may be some kind of investigation. We're going to try to get you more information on that. But in any case, I will be back here tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope you'll be here with me. So that's all I got for you. I want to thank you all. God bless the goal, bitches. We hit it. And I can't tell you how happy that makes me. Every time we put up a goal, we hit it. I'm going to have to start raising the goal. That's what we got to do, right? Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank God Almighty. Praise the cash, because 'tis the season to be broke, especially if you're a father of 2 boys who think that you have Elon Musk's wallet somehow, right? I'm kind of impressed that neither of my children asked me for a Tesla automobile, right? They think I could just buy anything. Try to explain to my youngest son, like, you know, Santa only has so much money, buddy. You can't be too greedy, or the other kids won't get their gifts. And he was like, "Oh, okay." But I still want, you know, 5 of the 10 games I asked for and the VR system for the PlayStation. And I told him, yeah, I think Santa can manage that. We'll see what happens. They're good kids, though. You know, you want to spoil them and give them all the things that maybe your parents were too cheap to give you growing up. My dad could squeeze a penny until it screamed, right? That's how I grew up. But you know, it makes you appreciate things more when you're doing well. And that's how I feel. I have an attitude of gratitude, especially to all you kind and generous benefactors. It really, really does make a difference and helps us keep doing these. So I appreciate it. Yeah, what's the grift reading? It's over 9,000. Next goal, 1 million. Yeah, we're going to get, no, I want to try. We're going to try to get 100 gifted memberships next time. But YouTube just started the goal thing, and it doesn't include gifted memberships for the goal. So I'm going to make some fancy graphics, and we'll keep track and things like that. YouTube just lets you do a super chat goal. So, you know, it is what it is. It's interesting that we just started doing a nightly goal, and then all of a sudden, YouTube has a goal that they're rolling out. So it's a synchronicity, friends, as David Wilcock would say. The universe heard me setting goals and YouTube responded. What a synchronicity. No, it's just a coincidence, but it is what it is. I'll be back tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We want to thank all of you kind and generous benefactors, you Patreon supporters, Buy Me a Coffee people gifting memberships, all you kind and generous people super chatting, you PayPal pledgers. Thank you all for your kindness, generosity, and support. So, that's all I got for you, friends. Until next time, my name is Stephen Cambian. Good night, and God bless all of you.